The American Hockey League, long the site where you could see tomorrow's NHL stars today. Well, nothing has changed, and you'll see why tonight. The AHL All-Star Game, the best of the American Hockey League, and the future of the NHL. Tonight on this ice, you'll see the top 6 scorers in this league, and 6 young, hungry goaltenders looking for a job at the big show. Players looking to shine before a sellout crowd in Providence and before a plethora of NHL executives. Tonight on the Deuce, the AHL All-Star Game. And welcome, everybody. You're looking at the capital of Providence, Rhode Island, and in this city tonight at the Civic Center, the American Hockey League All-Star Game 1995. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Mike Milbury. Al Morganti will be along in a moment. Tonight, we'll see the stars of the Canadian franchise teams against the teams in the U.S., and on the U.S. side, a couple of veterans.
Yeah, the U.S. team will be co-captained by 2 guys, Jody Gage of the Rochester Americans and Tim Tukey of the Providence Bruins. These guys are terrific. Gage at age 35 is the 3rd leading all-time scorer in this league, and Tim Tukey at age 34 is the 4th leading all-time scorer. And you know that over the years, these guys have touched the hearts of literally hundreds of thousands of American League fans, and it is great that they get their shot in the spotlight tonight.
And we've got a guy on the Canadian side, Mike, who wants this game to have some thump to it.
Yeah, Rich Chernomaz just proved why he was named captain of the team. At the conclusion of the banquet last night, he went down, sought out Gage and Tukey and said, guys, let's play this straight. Let's have a little body contact. We don't get the chance to be on national television too often. He means business. And something else at stake. A lot of people from the National Hockey League are going to be taking a look at these players tonight. Some of them will be eligible in the waiver tomorrow. El Morganti will tell us about that when we come back. And welcome back. You see the teams on the ice. They've been introduced. Teams selected from the Canadian teams and a team of all-stars from the U.S. franchise teams in the American Hockey League. We're about ready to go here in this AHL All-Star Game. We told you lots of people are on hand from the National Hockey League. Al Morganti is with one right now, a man who has been around hockey a long, long time, Al.
Well, you can't talk about any league, AHL, NHL, without going to the name of Tom McVie, who has coached or played in that league, right, Tom?
That's right. I had a great time in the American Hockey League. Coached in the league probably about 10 years, and it's a great league for development, great league for developing coaches, players, and it's just been an outstanding league for players going into the National Hockey League.
An all-star game like this actually be some hitting in it?
I think that, yeah, they will, because they know that all the scouts are here. They know that it's not like the National Hockey League when it's sort of a showcase. These guys want to get out of that league and get into the National League, so you're going to see some hitting tonight.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom, and good luck with the Bruins this year. Guys?
Tommy's ready to go back to work. Take a look at our coaches who are working this All-Star Game tonight here in Providence, and a packed house will be on hand, in fact, to enjoy this game for the U.S. All-Stars. And remember, these are players selected from the franchises that are based in the United States. Barry Trotz on the left, the head coach of the Portland team. The Portland Pirates will be heading up the coaching staff here, and Paul Gardner, who is his assistant, standing next to him. Paul Gardner is mic'd for us tonight. We're going to be able to talk to him, and he'll be able to talk to us during the game. There you go, coaching staff for the USA All-Stars. For the Canada franchise teams, paulin, who is with the Fredericton. He's the head coach there at Fredericton, 5th season. He's the head coach. He is mic'd up and will be talking to us during the game tonight. And Dave Allison of PEI will be his assistant. So we'll have a chance to talk with both of the coaches. Mike Milbury, Bill Clement joining me here. Guys, before we kick it off, a final thought on the game before we get underway, Michael?
Well, I'm excited that this might be a real game instead of just that typical all-star game with no contact. These guys have convinced me anyway that their attitude is right to start this one.
You know, besides all of the things that we have mentioned, including what Tom McGee said about guys wanting to get out of this league, when I talked to the guys this morning, most of them were aware of how disappointed everybody was in hockey circles with the way the NHL All-Star Game went last year. It was an absolute non-hitter. And I think a lot of these guys are committed to not letting their All-Star Game turn out that way.
All right. The team in red will be the All-Stars representing the Canadian franchises, and the team in white will be the players representing the U.S. All-Stars. Now again, remember, it's the cities in the United States, they're All-Stars. The cities in Canada, they're All-Stars. Because when we start telling you where these guys are from, they're almost all from Canada. And some of them jokingly this morning saying, this is really different. It's like going to the Olympics. Johnny Yves, was playing for USA, said, it's like going to the Olympics and telling my grandson, here's the uniform I wore, only it was for the U.S. and I'm from Canada. There are where the teams are in the American Hockey League. Providence is where we are. The Providence Bruins, of course, have their home here. And for the U.S., there are the cities right there. Providence hosting this one, the All-Star Game. First time in 35 years that there has been an All-Star Game in the American Hockey League. We are underway. Again, Canada wearing the red, the U.S. in white. Good play on the quick turn by Joel Bouchard. Lost the puck at the other end. You'll see a lot of veterans here in this game. Each team was required to have at least 4 rookies. So they've got a good mix of talent out there on both these teams. Philippe Boucher trying to wrap it around the boards. Couldn't get it. Batted up in the air by Picard. Picard wearing 7 comes up with the puck. He is a scorer. Picard moving for the Canadians. Dropped it off as they wheel and deal. Back into the middle for the shot. Deflected wide and the rebound came out deep. Backhand shot deflected back to the point. Canada putting the first heat on. Leticeau takes the shot and it'll be hung on to. Take a look at our goaltenders. We'll see 6 of them before the night is done. Scott Bailey right there.
How about Scott Bailey? He's only going to play the first period. He said this morning, he said, nobody will remember what I did, good or bad, by the end of the game. Fortunately for Scott Bailey, so far so good. He made a terrific save on a pinch from the blue line. Watch this pass. Gary, you mentioned that Picard's terrific offensively. Watch this passing play.
A couple of good scoring chances on that effort right there. Bailey is 5th in save percentage and 2nd in goals against in the American Hockey League. Canadians come out early getting the offensive chances. Valerie Bure. Bure comes to the middle. Shot and Bailey's got it and hangs on. Veteran captain we were talking about earlier tonight. Tukey and Gage share that honor for the U.S. team.
See the pads that Scott Bailey was wearing? We'll get a look at them as this period progresses. He plays here for the Providence Bruins, so he wears the yellow and black colors. He was as concerned with his fashion statement as anything else this morning. He said, I won't win any awards. This really clashes.
U.S. can't get the puck out of the end here as Craig Darby held it in. A couple of line changes and still at this end of the ice. Steve Sullivan finally for USA tried to clear and just did as it rolls. Martin Lapointe. Lapointe will follow it up in the middle. 2-on-1 shot and the save made. Rebound. 2 great saves made at the near end. So both goaltenders, Marcel Cousineau this time, are tested early on here in this game. Wrapped around the boards by Mike Hurlbert of Canada. Cleared up by Bure. Long pass. USA back. Tipped away at center by Matthias Nordstrom. Both teams will change it up on the fly. Lance Pitlick bringing it in. Pitlick plays with PEI. Sends it in wide of the net. Bailey there to get it. The hard wraparound will come out of the zone. They'll wave off any icing. That'll be played behind the net. Cousineau coming back to get it. Caught that one outside of the net. Good hustle by Jeff Nelson. Nelson, who plays for the Portland Pirates, got that one. Brings it back out in front for the shot. Right through the middle. Fanned on far side. Great opportunity on the far side by Jean-Yves Roy. And Roy, who is a goal scorer in the Ranger organization, had a chance on that one. Maybe the best scoring chance of the game. And we are seeing some hitting, Mike Milbury.
We absolutely are. I love it.
This is not typical All-Star Game action. These guys want to put on a show tonight. As a lot of them said, it's more of an individual performance tonight that they're thinking about because of all the National Hockey League executives who are on hand for this game. Knocked away at center, Bonvie. Dennis Bonvie wearing 5, dropped it off. Bonvie goes to the net, shot deflected out deep. Chance for a 3-on-2 break the other way for USA. Brought in near side Mitchell. Dump pass into the middle, rolls in on net. Cousineau knocked it away as Walker tried to follow it in. Deflected behind the net to Dupre. Dupre couldn't handle it. Cleared up by Bonvie and out of the zone. And USA takes it back at center ice. Real fast pace. Petrovici out there. Robert Petrovici wearing 39 in white. The Hartford Whalers organization, first-round draft pick, who has not developed at the age of 26. Not developed at least to what they hoped it would be. Icing called, no score. The American Hockey League All-Star Game.
Well, the U.S. team is well represented by the Adirondack Red Wings. Couple of guys on this line. Andrew McKim coming down with the puck. Martin Lapointe breaking for the rebound. McKim with a big shot. All-Star games are traditionally tests for goaltenders. This one is starting that way.
Craig Duncanson does what good veterans do. He takes it right out front. Cross-ice pass to Jean-Yves Roy. Just missed on that one.
Jean-Yves Roy, who has picked up 24 goals and 24 assists. He's the 7th leading scorer in the American Hockey League, who had the opportunity there. And we do have the top 7 scorers in the league in this game, as you would expect. Yannick Dupré got it up on the near side, brought in by Martin Gendron. Gendron gets turned around in the corner, tied up momentarily, tried to battle it up along the near side boards and lost it there to Bure. Back come the Canadians the other way. Corey Stillman, a scorer, dropped it off, just sits, couldn't do anything with it. Tukey starts the other. Tukey couldn't get through center ice. Tukey, the 34-year-old veteran, he engaged 2 real veterans of American Hockey League seasons, playing on the same team for Team USA. Shot back in by Roy Mitchell, the defenseman playing for the Worcester Ice Caps. Picked up there with David Wilkie. Wilkie sends it near side. He drops it off. No icing on this, and they were onside. LaRoche going back to get it. LaRoche got pinned up by Martin Lapointe. You see the checking going on. Batted away. Team USA trying to skate it. Tukey dropped it in the middle. Both defensemen squeezed it as Picard moved in to take it away. Played by Granville. Johnny Granville lost it inside. Not quite. Came back and recovered. Good play by Pitlick. Lance Pitlick, who got back on that one. Canadians, Augusto moves in, dropped it off. Picard in the middle, went right through everybody. Knocked away by Gage to Tukey. The veterans working together 2-on-2. And Tukey moves it over to Gage. Gage tried to run it between the D, and Pitlick picked it up. Lance Pitlick playing for PEI, Prince Edward Island, representing one of the Canadian franchises. And the Canadian team rushing the net hard. Patrick Augusto took it back in behind the net. They're looking to set up in front. Pass a little wide. Couldn't get it lined up LaRoche. Rebound comes out deep. Right there by Knipscher. Fred Knipscher, who's had some time with the Boston Bruins. Knipscher sent it in the middle. No room there. Back the other way. Picard to get it up the center. Then got dumped and takes Kevin Dean down with him. Jody Gage goes back to get it. Gage has played in 1,001 AHL games. Folks, that's a lot of time in a bus. Drop back to the point. Shot by Dean. Deflected out deep. They'll try and take advantage of the deep rebound. Norris. Norris on the attack. Shot. Ripped it wide. Rebound deflected right in the slot. Kicked wide of the net again by Eisenhut. Back to Eisenhut. Deflected. Played by Gage. Up and out of the zone. And a whistle on the offside pass.
Dwayne Norris with a good bid here, and one of the things you'll see on this replay is the shot that directly comes back off the boards, straight out front. Here's Norris with his slap shot. Just misses, but comes right back to him. That happens in Providence. You see a lot of good chances when somebody misses the net, it comes right back out front.
Norris, the 4th leading scorer in the American Hockey League with 21 goals and 36 assists.
Well, Paulin Bordeleau is apparently able to hear us. Is that the case, Paulin? If he can, he's ignoring us.
We've had that happen a lot to us. We're totally used to it.
As the tradition continues on the deuce.
That's right,
gentlemen.
Jeff Nelson has his pass intercepted. All you got to do is talk to them and mention their name, and you're guaranteed you will hear absolutely nothing. It's the way it is. No score in this one. Brought in by Nelson. Nelson tried to dump it in the middle, intercepted Neil Eisenhut, the 27-year-old who plays for St. John. He heads up on this line with Norris again. Norris shot that one wide. Mike Hurlburt over to get it, holds it in for Canada. Freed up behind the net, no score. 13:58 to go, first period. Canada 4 shots, USA 3. And with chances at each end, a very wide open game. Wow, sent it in. Wraparound shot went down low as Duncanson was falling. When he took that shot, Duncanson gets the loose rebound. Back up near side, can't be handled by Norris.
There have been some great chances, Gary, but I tell you, most rushes now, you're seeing a back checker, which is unusual for an all-star game, to say the least.
Well, there better be one, because especially if you're in red, because number 5 in white, watching Scott Walker, plays for Syracuse. He has joined every rush, every time he's been out there.
Bill, he is a forward.
Now, in Syracuse he is, yes, but here in this game,
that's right.
He back on defense.
And he was mentioning that this morning when he came off the ice. Inside shot, save made as it went off the blocker by Bailey. Bounced it off the blocker and the stick. Great opportunity out in front of the net for Picard. And the scoring opportunities continue here. Every shot on goal has been a scoring opportunity. Martin Gendron leads the rush to center. Dupré knocked away. Near side. Dennis Bonvie. Bonvie in. Bonvie scores!
Dennis Bonvie, 3 goals so far this season, 200 and some odd penalty minutes, a late addition, and nobody knows just why, but he shows he's got some talent. The kid makes a great move on Scott Bailey. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing up there, Gary. Bill?
He was setting it up. He's a great scorer, Michael. 213 penalty minutes and 3 goals.
Well, you know,
how many assists? How many assists?
4.
He has the distinction of actually being the lowest scoring player in this game, but he doesn't look like it. I thought the hook was put on him just at the right time. That's a terrific move.
Absolutely. He gets the split on Bailey, slips it between the pads, and look at like it happens every day with Bonvie. No huge reaction. Hey, no problem.
One of the advantages he had is that he came from the board, so he was going across Bailey. He was able to get his legs spread easier that way than if he was coming straight in, but he made that look like he's a 50-goal guy.
Bonvie, 21 years old, property of Edmonton, plays for Cape Breton. Look at that pass between the legs right there by Joel Bouchard. The only way to get it out, other way LaRoche. And it goes to the back of the net. LaRoche comes in to get it. Has it batted up in the air and tied up at the side of the net. So the first one on the board goes to Canada, 1-0. And we have a 1-0 game. 6 shots for Canada and 3 for Team USA. Al Morganti with a man who's going to be watching a game Friday at the Garden. Al.
That's right. I'm with Neil Smith, general manager of the New York Rangers. And Neil, do you have that ring on yet?
No, it's tomorrow night, Al. We're saving them for the players for tomorrow night.
I'm sure you're happy to be here. The AHL was a big part of your success with Binghamton.
Well, yeah, Binghamton is a great franchise for us. It's developed a lot of players, and I've had a long time with them, being with Adirondack Red Wings. So it's nice to see an all-star game in the American League.
Now, of course, we want to know, when the banner comes down, is number 11 Mark Messier on the ice?
I'm sure he will be. I'm sure Mark wouldn't miss it for the world.
That's it. Your guarantee. It's in stone. Messier will be there. Gary?
All right. We'll be there Friday night on ESPN. 3-on-1. Tukey drops it. Shot. Score! Kevin Dean, the D, scoring.
Block at the other end, maybe. Well, this is what we talked about, defensemen getting up on the play. I mean, it was a block shot at the other end, and then it turned into kind of a partial 3-on-1. That, folks, was a terrific pass by one of the co-captains of the U.S. team, Tim Tukey. Yes, Dean finished it off, but Tim Tukey made it all happen. What a terrific pass.
So Dean gets the goal, a 25-year-old native of Wisconsin who played his college hockey at the University of New Hampshire. Kevin Dean has tied this all-star game up at 1-1. You've got some guys who you wouldn't expect to score. Put it on the board first for each of these teams. Bonvie scored at 7:08, giving Canada the 1-0 lead. Dean from Tukey at 7:42 to tie this game up on the 4th shot by USA. Back the other way, Canada on the rush. Dumped along the boards by Darby. Got hit, puck rolled. Darby shot save made by Bailey. Valerie Bure was in on the follow-up and put a pretty good shot through a screen.
Did you see the move, though, coming across the blue line? Right here. Here's Dean, number 3, the guy that scored the goal. He went for the play, tried. I didn't even look to me, Mike, like he was going for the puck.
Oh, that's a terrific play. Inside out. It reminds me of, who was that move made? Was it Dennis Hull in Chicago so many years ago in the playoffs against the Canadians? Inside move like that, very tough to do in a defenseman. That's a great play.
I had a lot of guys just sort of go through me like that. I couldn't really isolate one, whether it was Dennis Hull or...
Boy, we're getting some breakouts all of a sudden. Fred Knipscher the other way. Couldn't control it long enough to get it started. Chernomaz pinned him up against the boards. Puck freed up there. Chernomaz skates by it. Comes near side to Norris. Dwayne Norris, 25-year-old, plays for the Cornwall Aces. Wide side, Chernomaz. Chernomaz dumped it into the middle. Neil Eisenhut, veteran line out there. Gage picks it up. Veteran line against veteran line. Sent in the other way. This will be an icing call, yes, as Canada got there first. 1-1.
Rich Chernomaz is the guy that told us before this game that they meant business, and so far they put on a heck of a show here. It's been a up and down struggle, little back checking, little bit of hitting, and some great goaltending.
See Rick Chernomaz's size, he's only 5'8", and that's pretty well the story for a lot of guys that are in this hockey game, and one of the reasons that some of them are in the American League. They got everything but the size to play against 200-pounders on a nightly basis.
You can note that if you just watch the size of the players, you see the difference in mass out there between the players here and those in the National Hockey League. And yes, on ESPN, we will open up our coverage of the NHL Friday night at Madison Square Garden. The Buffalo Sabres come in and the Rangers raise the banner finally. They had to wait all those years to get it, and they had to wait a little longer to put it up. Friday night, we'll have it on the air for you. Picard comes the other way. Picard drops it back. LaRoche couldn't control. Bailey came out. LaRoche centered it. Comes all the way back to the blue line, and Duncanson is there. 3-on-2 break the other way. They are skating. Johnny-Yves centering pass knocked away as Marcel Cousineau, the goaltender, got a piece of that one. Back comes LaRoche. LaRoche out of PEI, just 23 years old. They'll send it in one. Leading scorer in the league, Michel Picard with 75 points. Steve LaRoche's teammate for Canada leads in goals as he has picked up 36. Wide shot, save made by Cousineau, deflected into the corner. Tough goaltenders. These 6 goaltenders we'll see tonight are among the top 10 in goals against and save percentage. All 6 of them. That's what an all-star game is all about. Kevin Dean, who's got the USA goal, dumps that one in behind the net. We are tied at 1-1. A little more than midway through this first period. Delighted to have you with us here in Providence, Rhode Island at the Civic Center for this AHL All-Star game. Shot just wide of the net. Boo! Petrovici had the opportunity and missed it. Kevin Dean comes back to get it. Dean waiting as his line mates were changing. Stayed inside the line. Good move to hold it in. But Canada was also changing it up. Dennis Bonvie made that nice move, and Bonvie puts the hit on against the boards. Puck finally kicked free. Team US in white. Dutre drops it off to center. Petrovici brings it in, playing for Springfield. Petrovici still a Hartford property. Deflected out in front. D down low was Pitlick to knock it away. Back on the attack. Canada in red. Lost. Played up ice. Tim Tukey intercepted. USA changing up behind the play. Played there by Pitlick. Pitlick had that one drop off into the box.
Well, we're 0 for 1 in the coaching mics. Let's try Paul Gardner. Paul, Bill Clement upstairs. Can you hear us? Terrific. I got to tell you something, Paul. You look nice and relaxed from here, but looking to your left, check out Coach Trotz. I mean, he looks like he's a little uptight.
Barry had about 8 cups of coffee in the last half hour before the game, and he's like that. He gets pretty worked up and pretty intense, and I try and keep him out of the coffee before most of the big games.
Well, he has stood there, Barry Trotz, with his arms folded, and we talked to him about coaching here, Barry, a couple of weeks ago. He said he was looking forward as much as anything to meeting Bobby Orr last night at the banquet, at the American League banquet, and he was really psyched and pumped to coach, and he looks like he's really into this.
Bill, a great story he told me last night. Bobby Orr came up to him at his table at the banquet. Bobby Orr came up and said, "Hey, you're the coach. I see you a lot on TV." And he said, I couldn't talk. He said, I could not say anything to Bobby Orr. I was so flabbergasted. He's still my hero. Well, he's the hero of a lot of people in this section of the country. In fact, any section of the country if you love hockey. It's sent in by Tukey down along the boards. Canada in red, USA in white. These teams, all-star teams selected from franchises that play in Canada for one team and franchises in the USA for another. Roy Mitchell, who plays for the Worcester Ice Cats in their first season. On D, got it up along the boards but not out. Norris was there to knock it away. Played at center. Knipscher had it and lost it. Chased down at the far end by Nordstrom. Nordstrom, part of the Ranger property. Neil Smith here taking a look at him. Batted away by Scott Bailey to the wide side. Scott Bailey playing here in Providence. Property of the Boston Bruins. Knipscher tried to drop that out in front. Deflected though back in behind the net. Wilkie was back there to get it. They work it up along the boards, and Eisenhut brings it out. Eisenhut dumps the center to Norris. Norris has got good speed, winds up, got trapped from behind. Good defensive play from behind on both the block and controlling it. Sullivan. Sullivan trying to move through the D's legs. Can't do it. Wilkie took it away. Eisenhut comes the other way. Eisenhut over the line. Canada changing. Poke checked on the boards by Kevin Dean. Game tied 1-1. Shots are 7-5 in favor of the Canadian All-Stars. Back the other way with it as he waits. Dean waiting for a little help. Dean brings it in himself, trailing on the play, just off the bench. Shot, and the save made, deflected in front on Walker. Walker had just come on the ice. Nobody picked him up, and he skated in the slot all by his lonesome. Had about an hour and a half to wind up.
Two guys that don't usually do too much offensively, and there they are. Walker again with a great bit.
He actually had time to set the puck down flat. It was rolling on him, and I don't know that he had complete control of it.
He could have taken about 3 more steps. I think nobody would have touched him. Sent to the near side corner. batted away. USA tried to hold the puck in, can't do it. Picard was there and cleared it out. 2-on-1 chance, no, broken up. Good defensive play by Steve Pops. Pops plays for the Portland Pirates. 26-year-old defenseman out there working for Barry Trotz, his coach in Portland.
A lot of similarities between Steve and I. Both Colgate guys, good defensemen, and very quiet, unassuming types, Gary.
I tried to get another word in, but I knew I wouldn't be able to.
Wait a minute. One of those three, I believe, and that's the part about going to Colgate together.
Colgate, you have something to do with Colgate, Mike Milbury? 1-1 score.
Hi, I'm Al Morgana here in Providence. The score 1-1 Canada-USA AHL All-Star Game, and I'm here with the man maybe most responsible, Dave Andrews, president of the AHL. Congratulations on pulling off this great event.
Thank you very much. It's really been fun starting last night with our dinner and then a full house here tonight, and national television in Canada, the United States. We're really very proud of it.
The league looks like things really looking up. Hockey booming, and I guess you're the beneficiary of the big hockey boom.
Well, we are. We've had we're going to go over 3 million fans this year, Al, and we've really had a great season. Lots of television exposure, and tonight's really fun. Our players are playing really hard. It's a great game to watch.
You're putting on a good show, and let's hope it becomes an annual event.
Thank you.
Thank you, Al, and he indeed is doing a great job with this team, with this league, rather. They have really blossomed. This team and this league in the eye, both doing extremely well. Petrovici moving in, got it in front, dropped it off, deflected just wide of the net. Tip put on by Gendron, Martin Gendron, but he didn't have much of an angle to shoot. Dupre trying to hold it in on the far side, couldn't, and Canada busts it out the other way. 2-on-3 chance. Dump back into the middle, Eisenhut cutting to the net, deflected in front, stolen there by Steve Pops. Play by Pops, the D. These D have had to help out their goaltenders because both teams are charging the net. They've got people down low for chances. Iso dropped it back. Canada can't control. Again, dumped ahead by Mitchell. Tic-tac at center ice now. Both teams unable to work their way through. Knipscher knocked that one away from bonvie. Iso drops it back. Key up on the forecheck. Iso again cleared it out near side. Backhanded by Dean up ice. And again through center. Canada just changing up. Nobody's gone either way. Picard just came out of the ice, picked up that pass down the left wing side. Bure moving in. Bure trying to squeeze. Knocked away. Rolls in on Bailey, and he'll cover it up.
Tim Tukey starting a new career as a player-assistant coach. Great play he made on the first goal. Old veteran like Tim, with a fake shot, froze the defenseman, and he's been around a few years to do that.
He played most of his career in Hershey in the American League and came here simply because there was not going to be a coaching opportunity in Hershey for him to play as a player's coach. A busload from Hershey arrived at 2 p.m. today, and most of them were on that bus to see Tim Tukey at least one more time. They loved him in Hershey, and they're developing the same affection for him here in Providence, where he plays now.
34 years old, out of Alberta originally, and all those years in the American Hockey League. Canada in red, Dennis Bonvie has got their goal, cleared it around the boards, poke checked away, chased down Knipscher. Knipscher's got Gage in the middle with him. Knipscher to Gage. Gage had it knocked away by Wilkie. Wilkie pinned him up. Knipscher back to get it again. Fred Knipscher twisting in the corner. Mike Hurlbert put the hit on him there. And both teams continue to play the body. Wound up in the slot. Got loose. Shot. Deflected. Great opportunity. Sullivan. Steve Sullivan, the youngest player on the ice. And we've got about 6 of them who are 20 years old. But Sullivan is the youngest of that group. And had a scoring opportunity right there. Picard can't handle that one. Into the corner. Nordstrom. Nordstrom played it up on the near side boards. Knipscher will come the other way. Game tied at 1. 4:05 left to go. We'll be taking you inside the locker rooms during both of our intermissions. We'll have an eye on Team USA and on the Canadian All-Stars as well. Drop back into the middle, Neil Eisenhut. Eisenhut leaves it for Norris. Norris looking, Eisenhut cutting, comes back to get it. Eisenhut's got a D. Pitlick, Pitlick shot, scores! Saw the hole, took it and rammed it home. Canada 2, USA 1.
The forwards can go home.
Who needs forwards?
Forwards not required. Gosh, the D-man up on the play, Lance Pitlick, who said this morning, he said, I'm going to be dangling. I'm just going to dangle tonight. And I asked him, I said, you're going to hit a little bit? He said, yeah, because that's my game. And he said, I'm going to pinch in. I'm going to take my shots.
And the guy that gave him the pass here, Neil Eisenhut, he's a guy that hasn't had a goal in quite some time. He's in a defensive role himself. Why not? Off to the races, fellas.
Tell you what, that was a pretty good shot. Bailey had come out and cut down the angle, and Pitlick was pretty close to him. There couldn't have been much room there.
So a guy who's had 3 goals and another one who's had 7 in the first half of the season have scored the 2 goals for the Canadian All-Stars. And boy, did Pitlick see that hole. I mean, he was drooling. He looked in front of him. There was nobody between he and the goaltender, and he just darted towards the net. Wound up with a nice shot. Lance Pitlick, the 27-year-old who plays in PTI, property of Ottawa. And it is a 2-1 Canadian All-Star lead. Norris and Eisenhunt the assists at 16-16.
Almost ended up with Pitlick's sweatsuit last night. I checked into my hotel room and there was a sweatsuit hanging there. Thought it was mine. Looked at the name on it, said Lance Pitlick. I fessed up. I called him, said it was his.
You called the immigration department, changed your name, and now we're the proud owner of 2-1 to Canada. Good game. Canada 2, USA 1, 3:03 left in the first. And I mean, they are playing it. It's a fun game to watch. Full house here in Providence for this game. Tukey the shot. Score! From outside, Steve Popst from the Pirates has tied it 2-2.
This is a nice move by Popst. He takes the puck off the face-off and slides to the middle. When a defenseman does that, he causes all sorts of havoc for the goaltender and for the defense. Watch him change the angle here. He slides to the middle, good release, good traffic in front. I don't think Cousineau really had a good look at that.
Steve Popst is an interesting story. 2 years ago, he played in the East Coast League. Last year, he made his way up to the American League, played in Portland, was part of their championship team there again. And he is still getting better as his confidence increases, and he says, I'm still learning how to not be afraid of NHL players and of really being intimidated by being in camp. He's getting better and better every year. He's still got a chance of making it in the NHL, he does.
And of course, it was a defenseman.
Another defenseman who had 7 goals during the season. Popst has picked it up to tie the game up at 2-2. Petrovisky put the hit on in the corner. Petrovisky picked up an assist on that goal by Popst. Chased down by LaRoche. LaRoche got it away to the corner. Played nowhere. Can't get it up and out of the zone. Wilkie was there. USA clears it to center. The tying goal at 17:02. Popst from Petrovisky has tied it up at 2-2. So the Canadian All-Stars have had the league twice in this game and have seen it go. August dropped it off. The shot save made by Bailey. Rebounded in front of LaRoche's shot. Came out deep enough. USA cutting the other way. McKim. Andrew McKim waiting for a screen and some help. Poke checked away. Lost by LaRoche. And both teams change it up on the fly. Waiting for some help. And Nordstrom. And that'll be whistle on the offside.
Paul Gardner, this is Mike Milbury. Tuning me in. I'm doing fine. What's this with all the defensemen in the offense today?
Well, maybe they watched you play the way you used to jump up and score goals.
I'm getting it from everywhere.
Paul, how much did he pay you for that?
Not enough. Not enough.
Hey, you got him revved up down there. We're going to sneak in and see what kind of between periods rev up talk you guys give him.
All right, we'll let you in on that. Try not to give you all our secrets, though.
Neil Eisenhunt on the face-off win. Cleared the other way. Roy Mitchell, who plays for Worcester, going back. Bailey came back to help him out the goaltender. Deflected, and US All-Stars will get it out of the zone. McKim was there. Andrew McKim, 24 years old, plays in Rochester, and offside again on the All-Stars of USA.
Andy McKim last year was really looking for a job. It wasn't until the end of the summer that Detroit gave him an opportunity, and he's taken advantage of it. He's really had a terrific season for himself. A great start. One of the top scorers for Adirondack, who's sort of a rejuvenated team this season.
Yeah, he's playing with one of his line mates, Martin Lapointe. Lapointe will be leaving tomorrow, as will a couple of other guys in this game, for their parent clubs. Lapointe will be going to Detroit to join their, 31-man camp that they're having.
Something's got to give there, Bill.
Yeah, sooner or later, with 31 bodies.
A lot of these players, especially obviously in this game, All-Stars of the AHL, hoping for the chance in the National Hockey League now or later in this season, yet to be defined as to what it's going to look like once it starts with 48 games. Will there be injuries early? A lot of people worried about that. Eisenhunt starts the other way. Eisenhunt sent it in, partially knocked out. Intranuvo. And Tranuvo trying to send it in. It'll be covered and held on to with 44 seconds left in the period.
Dennis Bonvie. He's a tough guy. A couple weeks ago, they played against Springfield. He was all over, excuse me, that's Ralph Entrenugo, but I'll get to the Bonvie story. He was all over Robert Petrovitsky. Petrovitsky is one of the top players in Springfield. And the next night, after the Springfield Indians got crunched, they went out and got a policeman, a guy from a local police guy, doesn't play in anything but a men's league, and he went out and squared up against Bonvie, and they teed up a little bit, got about 15 minutes in penalties, took Bonvie out of the game, and Springfield went on to win.
A little slap shot stuff, huh?
Only in the American League.
Nice save made by Bailey.
Only in America.
Cleared back through center. Game tied at 2-2. 30 seconds left to go in the period. Sullivan dropped it off. Kicked deeper into the corner by Pitlick. Centering pass. Sullivan tied up. Can't get away. He was actually being hung on to by Yanni Granville. Just would not let him go. Wasn't going to give him a shot. Granville the other way dropped it off. Deflected to the near side corner. Played by Kevin Dean. 11 seconds left to go in the period. Game tied 2-2. Centering pass knocked away. Bure was there. Yes, Pavel Bure's brothers, the man we've been talking about here. Valerie Bure has picked up a lot of publicity for that reason. Good, strong first period, Mike.
I liked it. I was entertained. I hope it continues. It was a good pace up and down. Sure, there'll be some breakdowns in the offensive zone. There'll be some breakdowns in the defensive zone, but I like the action.
I like the intensity, but typical of All-Star games, the over-under is now 13.
Canada and USA All-Stars. The American Hockey League All-Star game in Providence tied at 2-2. The veteran, Jody Gage, will be with Elmore Gandy when we come back. Welcome back to Providence, everybody. The 1995 Dodge AHL All-Star game. Bonvie and Pitlick for Canada. Dean and Popst for the USA All-Stars tied at 2-2. And one of the veterans that we've been talking about in this game is with Elmore Gandy right now. El?
That's right, Gary. You're going to cover this thing. You might as well go to one of the legends, Jody Gage. A little bit out of breath here.
A little bit out of breath. It's only, my fourth game of the season, so I'm still a little shaky.
1,001 games in this league. Do you ever think you'd see the day have an AHL All-Star game?
You know, I've heard the rumors the last couple of years, but, you know, thank God it finally is here. It's been long overdue. It gives the younger guys a chance to show it to the NHL, playing as the best. And it's great for the fans, and it's great for the players, so it's a three-win situation.
We look at the NHL games so wide open, 13 goals, whatever. You guys doing a pretty good job keeping it close out there, playing pretty hard.
It's a typical American League game. Grab and clutch, slow the guys down, you know, have some banging out there, and you know, we're just told, like a lot of the young guys are trying to show the NHL scouts that they can play two ends of the rink, so that's why it's a little different. They're trying to prove a point.
In a different position, a lot of the younger guys, they see the GMs in the stands and all.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is their chance. You know, fortunately, we've got a few guys that are going up to the NHL, but it gives all the younger guys a chance at the elite of the league that hopefully their GMs, if they're not interested, the other GMs are looking for them.
Is this where you give the pep speech here? You're going to do it on live TV?
Right now, we're just going to hold our breath, relax. When we're ready to go out, then we'll give our speech. We're ready to go.
Thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the game. Gary?
Well, thank you very much, Jody Gage, right there. A tremendous first period. Shots ended up 13-11 in favor of the Canadian All-Stars, but the game is tied at 2-2 after one. Well, it's the first American Hockey League All-Star game in 35 years, and after this first period, they'll have lots more to come. A great first period. All tied at 2-2. You're taking a look inside the locker room, and right down there at those levels, this is the Canadian All-Star locker room, is Elmore Gandy.
With Lance Pitlick, we crossed the border into the Canadian locker room, and a nice boy from Minnesota. Your dream to play for Team Canada?
Oh, yeah. You betcha. One of the only Americans on the team. I think Darby and I are the only ones. I'm pretty excited. Good group of guys in here. We're having a good time.
Got a message from over there. Tim Tukey says, watch, keep your head up. He's going to get you in that second period.
Oh, is that right? Okay, well, Tukes and I might have to have a little go time out there, center ice, you know, for the fans here in Providence. I lived with Tukes last year, and we'd scrap once in a while just for the heck of it.
First fight in AHL All-Star history?
You might be looking forward to it, yes.
Can you introduce us to anybody else here? We've got, I've got a great scene over here. Is that Andre Agassi over here?
Yeah, exactly. He just had his hair done.
Wow. Can we get that removed? Can you take that? Oh, there we go. That Patrick Augusta? Is he the oldest guy in the league?
I don't know if he is, but he sure looks like it.
We're having a lot of fun here in the Canadian locker room. It'll continue through the night. Scored 2-2 here, and you guys ready to go out and play an equally impressive next period.
Yeah, that's what we're going to try to do, just try to keep the puck in their end, and hopefully, God willing, it'll work out for us.
Hey, watch out for Tukes. Gary?
There's McKim, the 24-year-old, and we are ready to go. Should mention Blair Angus is the referee tonight, his 6th year in the AHL, and John Gallipeau and Pat McCluskey, 20-year veterans, both are the linesmen working this AHL All-Star game. Played at the wide end, Rollison, as he tipped it around the net, just jammed at. Canada tried to clear the zone. Murray, though, could not get it out. Looking in front, Martin Lapointe, shot and no goal. No goal in front. Martin Lapointe looked like he directed that one in, if in fact it crossed the line with his skate.
Well, you are looking, if you saw that play and if you watch this replay, you're looking at Martin Lapointe's strength. He drives the net. We talked about it this morning. He said, when I go to Detroit, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive the net. And I had to agree with him. I said, you know, it doesn't matter what level you play. It doesn't matter how bad a slump you're in. As long as you drive the net, good things happen offensively. It's the hardest thing, I think, to combat defensively is when you're playing against guys like that.
No question, especially how strong this kid is. I'm not sure he directed that. I think it just hit off his leg and went in. That might have been a good goal.
He is the second leading goal scorer in the league with 29. 29 goals, 16 assists.
But that's not all he brings to the ice surface. He is a tough guy.
And in front of the net, good place to be. Mike Hurlbert. Hurlbert cleared it out for Canada, chased down to the far end by Roy Mitchell. Mitchell goes behind the net, touches it up for the icing call on the Canadian All-Stars.
We want to take another look at that goal that was waved off that Martin Lapointe thought he had. We've got more angles than an octagon on this one, folks. Watch this. Watch his pad. Yeah, that certainly looked like it was across the line and that it was in pretty deep before he pulled it out. Rollison, the goalie, is also a rookie. We've got Carey and Rollison against one another. Martin Lapointe is 21 years of age. Was a top pick of Detroit in '91. I saw him play in '91 in a preseason game, and he got into a little stick swinging act with Ron Hextall, and I noticed him right away. He was only 18 at the time.
That'll get you noticed.
Yeah.
Right away. Rollison's got a 3.54 goals against. There he is pushing it away. He is 14th in the league in goals against with that 8-8-3 record. Play behind the net, Jeff Nelson. Nelson tried to run it out in front, couldn't get it there. Canada comes back the other way. Bonvie has a goal, dropped it back into the middle. Pope checked away. Good play by Scott Walker on the U.S. All-Stars to get a piece of that one. Back the other way, Churnemans lost it at center. Intercepted. Waugh, shot, save, rebound, loose. Jean-Yves Waugh had a big chance in the first period, and he had another one right there for the United States All-Stars as he rolled that one in on Rollison, who batted it away. Behind the net, Jeff Nelson. Nelson, a good offensive player, number 91 in white. U.S. All-Star teams in white, and the Canadian team's All-Stars are in red. Pinned in the corner, Pitlick now was talking to. Pitlick swung around by Kevin Dean, who's picked up a goal. Dean and Pitlick again do battle along the boards. Dean in white, number 3, gets hauled down. Not out of the zone, though. Held in, deflected on a centering pass by Scott Walker. Walker tried to put that through the middle. This will be no icing call. Had to be played around the net by Carey. Jim Carey started out this season with an incredible record in net for the USA. Didn't lose his first 19 games.
Had to play almost a month and a half of the season before he realized what it was like to lose as a pro.
Like, this is too easy, right?
Yeah.
Losing control, LaRoche. They're still onside. Picard down low. Picard played it in the corner. Eisenhut, Picard, and LaRoche have been a strong line for the Canadian All-Star team. Played on the far side off the skates of Dussault. Back behind the net. It is loose. 2 down for the USA All-Stars. Gendron batted it away. Gendron got knocked down. LaRoche cleared it around the boards, but not out. Held in by Pops. His shot blocked out deep. 3-on-3 as the Canadian All-Stars come the other way. Brought in by Augusta. Centering pass batted up in the air by Dupré and into the seats. 2-2. We are 2.5 into the second period. Barry Trotz's team in white, the All-Stars, with these uniforms that you may notice don't really have a logo on the front. The logo for both these teams in these experimental uniforms is down on the hip.
Way to go, Gay. Way to go.
They got a logo. It's MasterCard up there in the corner.
The wave of the future.
Yeah.
I kind of like the looks of the uniforms, actually. Cleared back in behind the net. USA All-Stars, Matthias Nordstrom back there, 23-year-old property of the Rangers, who has played some games in the National Hockey League for the New York Rangers. Batted away from Darby, couldn't get it out. Mitchell in his own end. Bats it up on the near side to Gage. Gage looking to the middle. That's Sullivan cutting. It's batted into the corner. Gendron giving chase, beaten to it by the goaltender Rollison. Held onto by Gage in his own end. Tries to go around the boards, didn't get enough on it. Wilkie had to come back to play it. Wilkie couldn't get it out of the zone. Knipscher dumped it off, intercepted again, and still not out of the zone as it was held in on the near side by Jody Gage. Good job by Gage on this shift. Hurlburt goes back for Canada. Mike Hurlburt, the D. They come through the middle and a 3-on-2 chance near side. Deflected into the middle, a shot that goes wide by Bonvie. Again, the defenseman with a chance. The D just keep coming in, and they're not being picked up, and they're getting some great shots.
They don't know that there's not a card for the MVP given away here.
And they all want to drive it home. A 16-17 to go in the second period of this Dodge AHL All-Star game.
Yeah, you can see the resemblance. There is the younger Bure brother, Valerie Bure, whose brother Pavel we saw star for the Vancouver Canucks last year throughout the season and in the playoffs.
He spent this morning maybe 45 minutes with his coach Bordeleau down here in the corner. Had all the earmarks of a kid that was disappointed not to be called up and get a chance to play for the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, he was, and in an interview that I kind of eavesdropped on with the French network before the game, he said that his agent had been told by the Montreal organization that when the lockout ended, he would be called up. So he is still going through kind of an adjustment period emotionally from being very disappointed at not getting the call in the last couple of days.
18 goals, 12 assists for Bure during the first half of the season in the AHL, and there's more than one player down there on the ice with those kinds of feelings in this game. There are a few more who thought they were going to get called up. One of the things in talking with one of the NHL executives this morning, intercepted and brought in by Tukey, poke checked away to center, chased down Picard after it. Picard centered, shot deflected as it went off the shoulder. Great chance right there by Stillman, Corey Stillman, who followed that up. Stillman on the far side. He is the scorer with St. John. Intercepted on the centering. Walker's got it. Walker leads the rush. Walker, USA All-Stars pass deflected into the corner on the shot taken by Tukey. Tim Tukey got knocked down, but he got the shot. Walker again, the blast goes wide. Went off the D. McKim picks it up. He dumps it down deep. Martin Lapointe. Lapointe pinned up on the boards. Corey Stillman was on him. USA All-Stars getting the chance. Deflected in front. Rollison jumped up, tried to grab that. It was way over his head. Comes back to center. I was going to say, when the NHL executive said this morning, one of the things they don't want to do is disrupt the beginning of the chemistry for their NHL teams by calling up a number of guys playing at the minor league level who might be more ready to play. But they're worried that if they bring them up and they play well, there's going to be a disruption on the team.
You buy that? I don't buy that at all. Disruption, they haven't been together. How can they have any chemistry?
Well, I think that's what they're worried about, that they bring guys up, start a chemistry, and then have to send the minor league guys back down as the NHL guys work their way into shape.
You know, I think what might happen, guys, is that they're going to see how everybody looks and then take these guys up, but they're not going to pull somebody up just to have a 5 or 6 day training camp when they're playing games in the American League. So they're ready to go, and the ownership and management knows that.
That seems to be the feeling. Played in the corner by Nelson. Nelson dropped it off near side to Duncanson, who cleared it out of the zone. The Canadian team All-Stars in red working out of their own end. Lanasu went back to get it all the way down to the other end on Jim Carey. Played behind the net. Pace a little slower in this period. Checking a little tougher as the passes aren't connecting. Duncanson reached in, tried to put the hook on, couldn't get it. Trying to knock him down on the far side. Craig Duncanson rides him to the corner as Dwayne Norris went from one side of the ice to the other. Officials don't want to call penalties in this game unless absolutely necessary. Boucher the other way, dropped it off, shot and the save made on Mitchell. Rebound loose right in the slot, but nobody there for the USA All-Stars to put it home. What a chance. Eisenhut. That'll be dropped off by Carey at the side of the net. Neil Eisenhut for Canada came the other way as we open it up and go end to end. No icing here because the puck keeps ending up on the goaltender's stick. Both teams change it up behind the play. Game tied 2-2, 7 minutes into period number 2. Dropped in the middle, a shot and a save made by Carey. David Wilkie was following that one in. Yet another defenseman with a chance.
Another defenseman, perhaps the best shot in the Montreal organization. This guy can really hammer a puck. That's not easy off the fly, and he just dinged it. That's a real good shooter, this kid. He's got a good future if he can put it together in his own end.
Only 20 years old, comes from Washington State.
Now this is the chance at the other end. And the save that Rolison made. And boy, I'll tell you what, there are split-second transitions happening out here, folks. I mean, they go from D to offense like that because everybody thinks, get the jump on the other guy. 5 men up, 5 men back.
Game opening up, Mitchell leads the rush. The U.S. All-Stars, Mitchell in, takes the shot, deflected by the D wide off the back of the net.
I haven't seen any 3-man rushes. I mean, everything's a 4-man rush minimum.
Always a D somewhere. Dupree knocked it away. Chased back in his own end. Picard. Picard was waiting for a little help as the D had already gone up ice, and he was back there as a forward in the defenseman's position. Petrovitsky does get it. Petrovitsky moving in, looking for a screen on the backhand side. Couldn't get it. Got turned around by Lance Pitlick. Battle on the boards for it. Dupree was there, knocked away from him, picked up by Picard. Picard, 25 years old, a native of Quebec. Picard in. Petrovitsky was there, knocked it away with help from Scott Walker. Walker couldn't clear, dumped in front. Great chance in front with a big screen on Carey. Carey makes the save on LaRoche. He had 3 or 4 guys in front of him, and Carey stayed on his feet and kept his eye on the puck. Good concentration. And the USA All-Star goaltender batted straight up in the air off Joel Bouchard. Plays at St. John. Remember, there is St. John, and there is St. John's. The other way, bonvie! It's covered.
My main man.
Are there any forwards in this game? 2-2.
Well, we think we have repaired the problems with Coach Paulin Bordeleau's mic. Paulin, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Terrific. Now, what are you going to do about getting Jason Bonvie to stay back a little bit? He's already had 6 scoring chances.
Well, he's playing forward, so that's why he's up there so often.
You got us on that one.
I like the strategy.
Well, we got 6 defensemen, and we got 11 forwards, including him and Intro Nuvo, so that's why he's playing up front. And I gotta say that he's playing good. He's getting some good scoring chances.
He is doing that with the extra D. Bonvie's the one who's benefiting from getting to play up a little bit. Back the other way, Sullivan drops it off. 3-on-2 chance, and that's offside. Knipscher reaching back, created the offside.
Come on, boys, come on now.
Paulin, can you still hear us?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you were talking to Valerie Bure about this morning? We sat up here, we just mentioned it. You had about a 40-minute conversation with him after the morning skate.
Well, we talked about different things. We did talk a little bit about the fact that he was disappointed not to go to Montreal, but that was just part of the conversation. I like to talk a lot with the players and see how they feel, and anything in general. Nothing in particular, anything in general.
Thank you.
Coach of the Canadian All-Stars.
Dodged that bullet.
As Mike said, they were talking about his disappointment in not going up. Cleared around, Joel Bouchard, not out of the zone, held on to by Walker. Walker's played a strong game. Scott Walker, 21-year-old from Quebec who plays at Syracuse and is the property of the Vancouver Canucks. Walker wearing 5 in white. Just poked that one away again. And back on the attack, Knipscher. Knipscher with Gage trailing. Knipscher plunged in the corner, puck squirted free out in front, comes all the way back to center. Canada back in the attack. Into Nuvo. Drops it. Again, the D, the ones trailing the play. Bouchard had it poke checked away. Gage clears it out. Sullivan's got it. Sullivan moving with Knipscher. Gage the trailer. There's Gage. Not quite. Enters
look at this.
The D hung in the middle. There's a 2-on-2 the other way, but they're all on other sides of the ice. Into Nuvo centered. Score! It went off a USA All-Star and into the net. The centering pass deflected, and it's 3-2 Canada.
You talk about getting caught in a change. This was almost a clear-cut 2-man breakaway. It ended up being a partial 2-man breakaway, and it was a diving stick that deflected it in. Bonvie was wide open on the other side. Watch this. See them both at center ice? Both Bonvie and Intro Nuvo are wide open. Now white guys are just chugging off the bench trying to catch him. Intro Nuvo tried to pass, and he got better than an assist.
This is a kid that was all excited about just being here. He was a late replacement. And what is Bonvie doing hanging out around the red line?
He's a forward.
Very quickly.
He's a forward. But
yeah,
what happened?
Forward, it hangs around the red line.
On that rush, both Team US defensemen changed. The three forwards were in deep trying to make that play. Sullivan had his pass cut to Gage, and poof.
There were 4 guys in the zone, but they were on different sides. All the Canadian guys on this side and the U.S. All-Stars on the other. All right, 3-2 lead. Score! And another one to it as Bure puts it home. Valerie Bure picking up the loose rebound and getting it by Jim Carey. And Barry Trotz's club is down 4-2. First 2-goal lead of the game.
Well, when you're disappointed, you haven't been called up, this is the way to answer your critics. Right away, don't get down, don't get depressed, get a loose puck and fire it in the net. That's what he does best.
Get mad and play hard.
Bure, just 20 years old from Moscow, playing for Fredericton. It is head coach behind the bench, and we were just talking to Bordeleau. All the talk this morning helped a little bit. Coach, it worked. Whatever you said to him worked.
Well,
it's got to make you happy.
Well, I'm happy for him. You know, you're all here to put on a show and to have fun, and I hope everybody is.
Hey, tell us something, Paulin. How good a player is Valerie Bure?
He's very talented. He's the kind of guy that you don't see around too often. He's got that sixth sense where he reads the play, and he anticipates well, and he's a very good all-around hockey player. He knows the game really well.
Coach, thanks very much. Coach Bordeleau, the man behind the bench, and his Canadian All-Stars have taken a 4-2 lead in this game, with Bure getting the last one. 2 quick goals, 9:26 left to go in this second period. Up on the forecheck in the corner, Jean-Yves Waugh trying to bat it away, getting some help from Jeff Nelson. Nelson and Waugh down low, centering pass intercepted by Norris. Cleared through center to Eisenhut. Eisenhut, the 27-year-old, drops it near side. Chernomaz sends it into the corner. Chased there by Norris. Norris still up. Puck's loose. Norris reaching in, trying to dig it out. Jeff Nelson batting at it. Nelson finally comes away with it. Nelson clears it to the near side. Nelson is one of the scorers in this game. He can put the puck in the net as well. But again, if you're not playing D tonight, you don't get a chance. Bure finally coming through for the forwards. Pinned up in the corner is Norris. Centering pass intercepted. 8:36 on the clock in the second. Shots are 19-14 in favor of the Canada All-Stars. Carey almost lost at that time. Lennis Isu had moved in on that. Carey didn't see him. That one bounced a little bit on Rolison. Goaltender's a little shaky here for a couple of minutes. Whipped into the zone by Picard as they're changing up behind the play. It's caught up on the back of the net. Canadian All-Stars 4, USA All-Stars 2.
Back here at Providence, Rhode Island, Canada leads the U.S. 4-2. Al Morganti with Brian Sutter, coach of the Boston Bruins. And Brian, pretty good competition here. And the Bruins are a team that use a lot of people from this league.
Well, we do, and there's a lot of good young players here, and you just look at the goaltenders here tonight are kind of typical of this hockey league. It's a development league, and there's a lot of outstanding young talent. It's fun to watch every night.
And why would you be looking at the goaltenders especially?
Oh, you're always interested in goaltenders. I don't care whether they're ours or somebody else's, and we got a couple of good ones in Boston, and a good young one here, and a lot of good ones elsewhere, too.
Well, here's a hint, guys, in goal. Play a good one, you may end up in Bruins black. Guys, thanks, Brian.
Scott Bailey, the goaltender that the coach is talking about, who's property of Boston, who played in that first period and played well. Kicked away by Carey. Rebound shot deflected in front wide. Canada's got the 2-goal lead. David Wilkie with the last opportunity, and that's pinned up on the boards. Entrenuvo at 9:37 unassisted, and Bure at 10:02 unassisted, giving Canada the 4-2 lead.
Well, Paul Gardner, now you're one of the all-time greatest scorers in the history of this league as well. We're talking to you. You got to give us an answer. What are you going to tell these guys to get back into it?
Well, we're just trying to tell them not to get down. You know, it's a fun game and get our skating legs going. We've been caught 3 or 4 times on changes that have got the puck deep, one resulting in a goal. So we just got to keep skating, believe in ourselves. That's all, like any game.
Paul, was that your call on the line change there, pal?
No, I'm going to bail out on that one. Barry does all the running of the bench. I'm just trying to make some suggestions and support him out here. But we just got caught napping at the wrong time. But we've had that 3 or 4 times this period, and it just can't happen with their speed.
All right, Paul.
They're fixing a piece of glass along the boards. That's the reason for the delay. And while they have that, we'll remind you, our coverage of the National Hockey League will continue on the Deuce as well. As Saturday at 10:30 Eastern, you'll see St. Louis take on Vancouver. That's Saturday in the Deuce, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. St. Louis, whom I think are going to give a big run for the Cup. And Vancouver certainly did last year. And where's Mike Keenan now? Oh, St. Louis. So we'll have a chance to see him on ESPN2 Saturday. 4-2, Canada leading.
You know, you mentioned St. Louis. The St. Louis Blues are changing their numbers. You see the backs of these guys. I hope one of them will accommodate us by turning around. These numbers are sort of on an angle in the back. St. Louis is changing their uniforms. They're going with angled stripes. Come on, turn for us. There you go. See how those numbers come down on an angle? A guy named Rick Cavallero was here this morning. It's his company, Custom Crafted, that have done the St. Louis uniforms. And St. Louis was nice enough to lend the dies that have actually been cast for these numbers to the American Hockey League so that they could design the numbers the same as the St. Louis Blues are going to wear this year.
As they say in real estate, three things that matter. So true in hockey: marketing, marketing, and marketing. Poke checked away to center to Canada here with Intranuvo batting at it. Ends up as a souvenir. 7:21 to go second. And the Canadian All-Stars up by 2.
The wind seems to have come out of the sails of the American squad here. They really had a good start in the first 10 minutes of this period. A couple of lucky goals by the Canadian squad. And they actually, I think Paul Gardner was right on it. They actually came down a little bit.
Kind of interesting. You know, you don't expect that. I don't.
Strange goals, too, though. You know, one off their own stick that goes in, followed about 25 seconds later by another goal on an errant pass out in front. Let's see if they can pick it up a little bit. Plenty of time left in this game with 7:08 to go here in the second period at the Providence Civic Center for the AHL All-Star Game. Sullivan strikes the other way. Steve Sullivan takes the shot. That one went off the end of the skate as Dwayne Rollison got over there. You see there is some checking going on and some wild swinging as well. Batted away to center. Recovered there by Popst. Knipschier. USA All-Stars, Knipschier, Fred Knipschier ran it in the corner. Rollison came up to play the puck along the boards. He has been willing to roam here in this period in net. Bonvie got it up ice, dumped in along the far side, spun around, knocked down Craig Darby. Darby may have been hurt a little bit on that spin. Boucher comes the other way. Philippe Boucher. Boucher, the property of Buffalo. He was at Buffalo working with the team. They allowed him to come back and play in the All-Star game. Gonna need a penalty here in a minute or it may get a little chippy. A lot of holding going on right now as Sullivan got knocked around at the far end. Boucher trying to control that camp. 2-on-2 break the other way. Drop shot carry. Save
what a hit.
Next by Martin Lapointe. Oh. Martin Lapointe leveled Neil Eisenhut after that shot was taken.
There he is again.
Now the sticks are getting up a little bit. Sullivan on the near side tried to dump it ahead. Intercepted by Norris. Norris drops it right side and follows it in. Norris wound up, couldn't get it. Shot, score by Len Asou. And it is a 5-2 lead for Canada.
What a play by Dwayne Norris. What a great play. He came in following the play, looked like he was going to tee it up and let the puck go for the trailer, and bang, it's 5-2. This is a terrific play.
Pop quiz. What position does Len Esau play? Another defenseman. What a shot. Yeah, nobody covered the high slot late, but then again, see him following up on the play, and he was able to just walk right into it. Jim Carey's a big guy. That one was by him before he could even move.
But watch Norris here. He fakes it. Yeah. He knows he's coming late, and this is a cannon.
You'd have to figure that Esau was yelling at him, you know, so that he knew he was there.
Esau 11 goals during the regular season. Picks one up here in the AHL All-Star Game. And Canada has scored the last 3 in this period to take a 5-2 lead. Craig Darby intercepted. Sent it back into the corner. Bure has got a goal. Valerie Bure backs it up. Darby, Canadian All-Stars, really starting to dominate now. Mitchell picks it up. Mitchell for the USA All-Stars to center, played there by Nelson. Nelson dropped it off in the middle. Wah, that'll be a souvenir. Goal scored at 14-19 with Augusta and Norris picking up the assist.
Can you get an assist for not touching the puck? Is that what happened?
You should, huh?
I think you really should.
A good mental play that goes unnoticed if it's not spotted on the moment.
No, we've talked about the American League and how far it's come in the last couple of years, especially since one of the guys that Al Morganti interviewed in the first period, Dave Andrews, took over as president of the league. One of the first things Dave Andrews wanted to do is reestablish this as at least the image of the league and the quality of the league as the #1 developmental league for the NHL. And boy, they sure did that in a big way. There's no question the International Hockey League, which we've covered this year, is going in a different direction than the American League. No, they're both good directions, but different directions.
And that's why I think the AHL's right on in picking up their niche. The IHL wants to be more independent and not affiliated with teams. The A will stay affiliated and develop.
Okay, back in Providence, Canada out to a 5-2 lead. Well, I'm here. I've covered a lot of things in hockey. I covered a guy named the Rat in Philadelphia, Ken Linsman. But with me, the Rat lady, Jeannie Karras from the Albany River Rats. And what is this, the 3 little chocolate rats here you give out?
These are our chocolate rats. My sister Lori and I, who are members of our booster club, were asked last year to make favors for our awards banquet. And we wanted to do something very original. And we found this rat mold, and 15 hours and 220 rats later, we had our favors.
My Lord, and what is this here?
That is my rat tail.
Oh my goodness. Well, her own. It is great. And these guys are for you. This is for Mike and Bill and Gary.
All right, Al, I'm going to remember to carry a big, thick piece of cheese in my pocket next time I go to Albany.
And Al, watch those hands, kid.
How does he get all the good work? Deflected out deep. LaRoche has it.
We got misconduct
last week. Misconduct in Portland. More of the marketing in the AHL, and it's good stuff. It's fun. Dupre shot it wide. USA All-Stars trying to find the back of that net now as they are down by 3, intercepted by Walker. Walker dropped it off. LaRoche was right there to intercept in the back check. Steve LaRoche, the 23-year-old, property of Montreal, wearing number 10 out there in red for the Canadian-located All-Stars. Back through center, Walker. Walker just puts the bump on Picard. And the USA All-Stars back in their own end again. Dean, who's picked up one of the goals, drops it off to Gendron. Martin Gendron winds up and shoots it wide. Deflected off of D and was not even close. Picard waiting for some help. Both teams changing it up here. Dropped it off to Norris. Norris lost it. Gage. Gage to Knipschier. Gage. Knipschier rolling into the zone. Pops went down low. Deflected. And that's way up in the air. And a souvenir. Shot out of the cannon, Boucher. All right, Pringle's storyline here at the AHL All-Star Game. The Canada All-Stars 2 goals in a matter of 25 seconds in this second period, and then they added another. Intranuvo, late addition to the team. Wouldn't you know, it's got a goal and an assist, and we have not had a penalty in this game.
Well, Boucher has a cannon, and that went binged off the crossbar. And it just about hit the rafters here. It came down in the lower level behind, but it just about hit the rafters. Boucher has a gun. He will go back to see if he can become a regular with the Buffalo Sabres as soon as this game is over, but man, has he got a shot.
He is the leading defenseman in scoring in the American Hockey League. Philippe Boucher, 14 goals, 27 assists. Hey, folks! Jody Gage, the veteran, getting pushed around in the corner and pushed back.
Gage has had a little bit of a knee problem the last couple of days, and something's gone wrong here to tick him off. He was swinging his stick earlier in this period, down behind the net just before that incident. Gage, who's not really a physical player, got into it.
Yep.
Here we are in the corner. He's pinned up, and look at that. That's a nice elbow. That's a nice little move for Gage to try to get free, but that's not his style, and it's not the style of an All-Star game, but I kind of enjoyed it.
Joel Bouchard, wearing 42 in red, was the man bumping. Gage has played only a couple of games, this season because of that knee, so he's just getting back.
He told me that his knee just keeps swelling up on him. He told me, we'll probably run this story down on Friday, that Pat LaFontaine a couple of months ago during his rehab had the same thing occur to him, that his knee just started filling up again, had to continually have it drained. Both Craig Duncanson and Jody Gage, 2 of the older players on the U.S. team, were sitting there side by side in the stall, ice packs on both of their right knees. The elder statesman getting iced down this morning.
We'll see Pat LaFontaine as he tries to make his comeback from the season lost last year because of the injury at Madison Square Garden on ESPN on Friday night, 7:30 Eastern, when the Rangers and Buffalo square off to open up the NHL season, and they raise the banner at the Garden. 5-2, the Canadian All-Stars on top here. Norris bats it away to center, sent right back in by Mitchell, as the USA All-Stars doing more dumping and chasing now. There's Joel Bouchard, Martin Lapointe. Martin Lapointe went after him. It was Bouchard who was after Gage, so Lapointe standing up for his All-Star teammate with a little hit in the corner. Elbow gets up near side as Nordstrom put it up in the air. Not cleared out of the zone yet. Tukey got it out. They come back in a 3-on-2 chance. Now a 3-on-3. McKim, Martin Lapointe, and the save made by Rolison, rather. Who hangs on. There's Lapointe who put that hit on.
I've heard a couple rumors in the last couple days that Detroit might be ready to wheel this guy in the right trade. I think that would be a huge mistake. This kid has tons of potential. I haven't seen him too much. He plays like this in an all-star game. Imagine when he's really juiced up on a big night. This kid's a good player.
I'll tell you one thing, if they try to trade him, there'll be some takers, a lot of takers. He's got 29 goals at this level in half a season, and he's a banger. I mean, if you got a guy that can crash, bang, boom, be a tough guy, drop the gloves, take care of his side, act as kind of a policeman, and get you 17 goals in the NHL, folks, you got a valuable player.
Skating seems to be no problem. I don't know where the weakness is.
That hit that he just delivered, Mike, I watched him. He danced around a defenseman, and for a minute I was trying to track down his number. I'm not familiar with all the numbers. I said, wow, that's Lapointe. He zipped around the defenseman. His speed, to me, is what's impressed me more than anything. I didn't think he was that quick.
13th leading scorer in the league. Jeff Nelson down low, had it poke checked away. Canadian All-Stars come back on the attack, batted up in the air by Kevin Dean. Back to Scott Walker. Walker and Dean, the defensive pairing, who are the USA All-Stars. Run in on the boards by Jean-Yves Roy. Centering pass. Everybody stops skating. So there was a whistle or something. Attempted clear. Walker stepped up to hold it in. Played in the corner by Nelson. Nelson leaves it behind the net. Roy cutting in along with the defenseman Walker. Walker, look at Walker down low. Roy's gone back to forward, covering up for Walker back at the point here. Down behind the net, Jeff Nelson. Nelson, who we told you can score, working on this line from behind the net. Nelson, the 4th leading scorer in the league. 57 points, 5th in goals with 25. Nelson dropped it off for Duncanson. Duncanson sent it in but wide. Chased down wide side. 22-year-old Jeff Nelson had it, lost it. Deflects over the glass and into the seats.
Well, Paul Gardner and Barry Trotz behind the U.S. bench are very active charity-wise. And Paul, if you can hear me, I'm going to describe what you guys are going to do. They're raising money in Portland. And for every $5 that's raised, both Paul Gardner and Barry Trotz will have to sit in one seat in the Civic Center. There's 6,700 seats. It looks like they're going to raise it all. That means Paul Gardner's going to have to sit down and get up consecutively 6,700 times. Can you do that?
I doubt it, but I'm going to try anyways. We've made a promise that we are going to do it no matter how long it takes us.
And how long do you think it will take you? And I know that you've actually done some calculations on it.
Well, we're looking at probably, if it's all sold out, 12 to 15 hours. So we're going to start at 6 o'clock in the morning and see if we can get it done in one day.
Great way to raise money. Nice job. Congratulations.
Yeah. And it's incredible.
I'm very proud of this.
Yeah, you guys should be. You do a terrific job in Portland, and until you really think of it, you don't know how demanding it's going to be. But he's talking about 12 to 15 hours of leg work.
Steve Pops had the chance. It was deflected in front. USA All-Stars trying to get one back here. Shot, and again the save made by Rolison. Well, they're putting a rush on with 48 seconds left in this period, and right now Dwayne Rolison, the 25-year-old who played college hockey at Lowell, is shutting him out.
Roley the goalie, they call him. Bruce Crowder was his coach and ex-Bruin. He did a great job with Rolison. He was a much sought-after free agent last season. He stays right with it. Good vision, good competitor. Handles the puck not bad. Got a pretty good future.
Not quite as big a logjam up in Calgary either now with Mike Vernon gone to the Detroit Red Wings.
And that's the NHL club that has his rights, plays at St. John. You saw the numbers he has put up this season. Out of Ontario, his home. Face-off one back to the point again. Shot deflected up in the air as Pops took it. And the Canadian All-Stars gun it out. Good hit put on at the other end. Boy, there was a shot by 17, Martin Gendron. Gendron just stood his man up in the zone. Russo cleared it through center. Picard coming. Picard 2-on-1. LaRoche with him 2-on-2. Shot, score! A huge goal for the Canadian All-Stars. Michel Picard makes it 6-2 Canada.
Is he smooth? Michel Picard is leading this league in scoring. He signed as a free agent with the Ottawa Senators last year in hopes of getting one more crack at the NHL. Still only 25. Great offensive skill. He made this one look easy.
He sure did. Watch the lateral move here. Boucher wishes he missed the plane this afternoon from Buffalo coming here. This is a nice move by Picard. Look at the lateral movement. Not only does he get Boucher in a tough position, but he gets the goaltender moving left to right, and that's a tough stop to make.
Yeah, and he shot it. He pulled the puck actually from behind him, almost like a pitcher hiding the baseball so that you can't see it. For a goalie, when you do one of those sweep shots, he doesn't know when you're going to release it, plus the screen. I mean, there was no chance for Carey on that one.
4 goals this period against Jim Carey, who is the second best in save percentage at .912 and third best goals against. But Carey has had some tremendous scoring opportunities converted here. Gage sent it in. Canadian All-Stars trying to get it out. Just 5 seconds left to go. Picard from Augusta, 1935. Carey bats that one up in the air and gets the Bronx cheer. Tough period for Carey in net. Not much he was going to do on some of those.
Funny stuff, funny goals. Didn't really have much flow to the game, the Canadians, but they jumped on their opportunities.
There's a lot of offense left on both of these teams. All I can say is stay tuned. I think there's more to come.
Shots are 24-22 in favor of the Canadian All-Stars, but it's the Canadian All-Stars up by a score of 6-2 as they picked up 4 unanswered goals in that second period. 6-2. We'll be back. Island here in Providence, and I'm not sure if gambling's allowed here, but deuces are wild in Providence, Rhode Island tonight, and we are delighted to have you with us. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Mike Milbury inside downtown at the Civic Center. Full house on hand here tonight as they have sold this game out. Second time Providence has hosted an AHL All-Star game, but the last one was 1957 when they played it here. The last time they played an AHL All-Star game was 1960. And now they're starting it up again and in great style. They made a great weekend of it. A magnificent banquet was held last night here in town with lots of NHL people on hand for the players. Very enjoyable couple of days. Numbers?
Shots pretty even. Scoring chances pretty even. A couple bad breaks for Jim Carey. That was the answer for that period. It was a tough break for Jim.
Score pretty uneven.
6-2. Canadian All-Stars on top.
It tells you that it was just a couple of different shots, really low percentage shots. A couple of them, Valerie Bure's was a screenshot, but now we've got new targets.
Our 5th and 6th goaltenders of the night. Martin Brochu plays at Fredericton, Montreal property. You see the numbers that he has put up this season. And at the other end, Corey Schwab, who plays for the Albany River Rats, property of the New Jersey Devils. Corey Schwab right now is the #1 goaltender in the league with a 2.53 goals against and 4th best in save percentage at .909. Third period underway. Obviously for the USA All-Stars, what they need here, 1 or 2 quick goals to get themselves back into this game. Couldn't touch that one. It would have been offside. The Canadian franchise All-Stars are in red, and the teams located in the United States, their All-Stars obviously in the home white.
You know who's been quiet for the white team, for the U.S. team, is the guys out there. They're producers. Jeff Nelson, number 91 with the puck, and Jean-Yves Roy from Binghamton. These are the guys that are going to have to do it for them.
And they got him out there to start. Waugh trying to reach for that, couldn't get it. Kevin Dean, who's picked up one of the goals for USA, came back on D. Duncanson dumped it off to Waugh. Waugh moving in. Jean-Yves set up, shot, save, made it a big one early on. There's one of those chances USA was looking for. Jean-Yves Waugh was robbed on that one by Martin Brochu, the 21-year-old goaltender. Goaltending has been impressive overall in this game thus far with the first 2 periods. Nelson tried to drop it off. Duncanson poke checked away from him into the corner. Played up on the near side by Darby. Couldn't get it out. Gendron sent it into the middle. Duncanson was being held in front of the net by Gronholm. Knocked down. Canadian All-Stars trying to get it out. Big check was coming. They saw it. As a result, didn't clear the zone. Gendron held it in momentarily. Bure's out on the ice. He does the crisscross with Darby. Darby looking for Bure. He's on the wide side now. Couldn't get it back to him. Played deeper into the corner. Stillman. Haven't heard from Stillman, number 12 in red. He is a very good scorer, picking up 54 points thus far. 6th in the league overall in scoring. Both teams changing up behind the play. Joel Pushart just ragging a little bit until somebody gets out on the ice to help him out. Played there by Boucher. Loose at center. Petrovisky got the stick up, took Darby down. Rolled back, and Canada still changing. Will start it up ice. Drop pass for Stillman. Intercepted. And as Mike said, what USA All-Star need here is a fire of some sort. Picard, what a quick shot. Man, he got that one off in a hurry. You talk about a wrister. That's what that one was. Dupre clears it out through the end. Somebody's got to get this crowd back into the game, too.
You'd like to think the coaches could say to the American team, dump the puck in, chase it, and hit a little bit. But I don't think that's going to work tonight.
Played back by the Canadian All-Stars, deep in their own zone. Wilkie drops it off. Grover cleared it out of the zone. Intercepted. Can't get it set up, though. 3 Canadians back on D. That's the problem they're trying to get through right now. Jammed up in the air, batted away. As Brochu was there, in net to knock that one down. Fire side up, Picard, and was able to clear it away to LaRoche. LaRoche, Picard have worked on a line together. That's LaRoche moving in. LaRoche shot blocked, held on to, trying to break somebody. Sullivan up ice. Steve Sullivan giving chase if he beats to it as Brochu came out to play it. Martin Brochu, 21 years old. A Quebec native in net now for the Canadian All-Stars. Watching that one run deep by Picard. Lost it to Sullivan. Comes around near side to Jody Gage. Gage looking to center Knipschier. Batted off the side of the net, though. David Wilkie's got it. Wilkie, the 20-year-old out of Washington State. What a future he has got in the hockey. They cut Picard. Didn't get his stick down to handle that one. LaRoche clears it around near side. Canadian All-Stars want to change it up. Scott Walker, working for Syracuse this season in the American Hockey League. Didn't have a lot of help down there. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Chernomaz came in to hold it in. Shot deflected up in the air. They'll come back the other way with Mitchell Walker rather leading the rush. Walker got knocked down as Kim tried to drop it back to him. Here's a 3-on-3 the other way. Chernomaz moves in. Got Tukey down. Pass. Tukey still down, but it goes to Walker. And Walker takes it around his own net. Tip pass up through the middle. USA All-Stars trying to find some odd-man rush. But right now, not successful. The 4-goal lead. The Canadian All-Stars obviously are going to drop back and play D. Wishart moves in. His drop pass. Shot and the save made. Good hard rip by Ralph Antronuvo, who's had himself a game after joining this team late.
Well, Canada is all over the U.S. 6-2. Al Morganti was in their locker room between periods. Pretty loose bunch of guys, and we are hooked up to their coach, Paulin Bordeleau, behind the bench. Paulin, can you give us an idea what you said to your guys? You certainly got enough goals to win this thing.
Well, we can't give these guys a chance to get back into the game because they got a lot of all-stars too, and they can score as many goals as we scored in the second period. So we got to be sure. We got to try and make it easy on ourselves and not let them back in the game.
And how do you do that? Make sure that your defensemen don't get caught up ice?
Well, that's right. Make them make the mistakes. They got to open up the play. They're 4 goals down. So just play smart. Let them make the mistakes and take chances.
Yep.
Paulin Bordeleau, classic strategy when you got a 4-goal lead. Shot and the save made by Brochu. We've got 5:23 left to go in this third period.
Making the job even tougher, Martin Brochu is a very good goaltender. He's a stand-up kind of a guy. He makes things look easy. He's the number 3 guy on the list here. Here comes the rush by the American team, and Brochu will make this one look very simple. And that's the way I like goaltenders to play. You don't have to be flashy. He's just right there, good out on the angle at the top of the crease. Brochu is right there.
Yeah, he's unlike Patrick Waugh, who is the classic kind of Montreal type of goalie. Their goalie coach, Francois Allaire, teaches goalies and has a hockey school, and most of the goalies that Montreal has play that butterfly style. Brochu is an exception.
And very solid here in the first 5 minutes of this period. Dumped away to center as they've got a 3-on-1 chance. USA All-Stars needing one here. Good hard hit put on. Brochu looks behind him, but he's got it. Jean-Yves Waugh cutting in, took a pretty good cross-check at the side of the net, but still batted it in on Brochu.
One of these has got to fall for the American team if they hope to get back in.
Watch Brochu. Watch his head. Ooh. He didn't know whether he had that one or not.
Jean-Yves Waugh, who had been hoped, or still hopes, that he'll be called up by the New York Rangers, played college hockey at the University of Maine, and 25 years old now, and has put up, as you see, a lot of points for Binghamton, the Ranger farm team. But no call yet. Draw comes all the way back. And the USA All-Star end, chased down by Roy Mitchell. Mitchell will take it in behind his own net. Shots just about even, only one more for the Canadian All-Stars, but that's not converted on the board here with that 4-goal lead. Batted in on net, held on to. Good play by Yannick Dupree, who came up and deflected that in on goal, blocking that pass.
Got to get it
revved
up.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys. They're going in here now. Come on.
Coach of the year last year, Barry Trotz. Portland Pirates winning the Calder Cup this season. A little tougher. He's been 7 or 8 shy because of injuries as far as manpower is concerned virtually all this season. Still is. Not an excuse. A reason.
Yep.
It's tougher.
Still set a record for the start of a season for playing 17 games without a loss until the Deuce showed up.
We've not been a good omen for him.
No.
I think they're 0-5 or 0-6 in games that have been televised on the Deuce this season. Played behind the net by Hurlbert for the Canadian All-Stars. Petrovisky steps up to hold it in. Petrovisky looking for help down low. Goes back near side point. Nordstrom shot deflected high off the glass. Petrovisky in the corner. Petrovisky able to hold it in. Dupre with him. Shot in front. Deflected to the near side boards. Well, they're getting their chances. Gendron working out in front. Had that last opportunity. Petrovisky, Gendron battling in the corner to hold it in. Martin Gendron dumped it with a D cutting. Deflected. This is where you're going to get some of these odd man rushes the other way. Norris to Eisenhut. Eisenhut spun around. Good work by Nordstrom to get back that time. A good hit put on in the corner by Nordstrom, who gets knocked down on a cross check, and they let it go. And there wasn't much question about that behind the play. Cross-check is put on by Dwayne Norris right through the crease, comes to the near side. The play picks up again. Norris starts it up. He's the man who got involved in that cross-check at the other end. Dwayne Norris in. Team's changing behind the play. Opens up a hole. Shot deflected and rips high off the glass. Good chance by Gronville again as again USA All-Stars got caught in the change. Deflected and the save made and held on to this time by Corey Schwab.
Well, now one of the curiosities that I have is whether or not we're going to end up with a penalty-less game or whether there's going to be one. There could have been one, not on this play because that was a clean hit on the boards. But coming off the boards, there was a cross-check.
Yeah, after this hit was put on, the response is made by 14 Dwayne Norris in red. He put the shot on him coming out of the corner.
That the guy that got hit is the man you're looking at, Matthias Nordstrom, who is absolutely NHL material. He plays in Binghamton. He is property of the New York Rangers, and he has come a long way. Talked to a couple of his teammates. He was prone to making bad decisions on the ice, jumping up and trying to hit people defensively. He has straightened that problem out, and they say he is NHL bound.
And Ipscher dropped it off. Walker the shot. They had deflected off the end of the glove of Brochu and ended up behind the net. Walker able to hold it in. Gage centers him. Walker tried to drop it off. Had it blocked in front. Good defensive play by Joel Bouchard, 42 in red, and covered up by Brochu against the net. So good D, good goaltending, and it's maintaining that Canadian All-Star 6-2 lead here in the third. Canadian All-Stars leading this one 6-2. We told you the last All-Star game in the AHL was 1960. There's a program from that. The Rhode Island Reds were the Calder Cup champions, so they played an All-Star team from the league. And on that team, Frank Mathers was one of the defensemen. And folks, that man is here tonight. And El Morganti is with him, El.
That's right, Gary. Frank Mathers, a big part of this league. You know, it's got a bright future, and it's because of people like you, Frank, that this league is so healthy right now. 43 years involved with this league. This has to be exciting to see what's come of this league at this point.
Yes, it has. As I look back on it now, it's gone a long way. For a while there, we had 6 teams. I don't know, Al, if you know this, but we had 6 All-Star games in this league at one time, and none of them ever reached this size here. I think the reason that we weren't very good at it, we didn't express it in the media nearly like we do today.
Gotta let Gary call a goal here. We'll be right back with you.
No problem. Great to listen to a guy who's had some himself. So they get USA All-Stars, get that third goal, and they needed that one. Lapointe out in front of the rebound, ended up with an empty net shot, and it's 6-3.
Well, this is the second goal tonight off of face-off. But something good happened for the same club. Tukey fires it out front, and even I could have hit that in. Even I could have hit that in.
Martin Lapointe is the guy that scored it. That one somehow handcuffed Martin Brochu. It was coming to him, and he just let it go by him, and that's why Tukey was able to get it.
Second leading goal scorer in the league. Martin Lapointe hits the goal, and they're going after another one right here, but it comes back to LaRoche. Steve LaRoche starts it out. 6-3 game, 12:23 to go. Tukey intercepts again. They've got the man up ice, McKim. McKim shot, save made Bruchot. They're hanging a man back now, the USA All-Stars along the red line, as they are 3 down midway through this third period. Tukey picked up an assist, couldn't control that one, batted into the zone. Good defensive play that time by LaRoche, who just dropped it a little deeper in order to avoid the turnover. There's LaRoche, spun around but controlled the puck shot, and the save made by Schwab at the other end. Goal picked up at 7:20. LaPointe from Tukey for the third goal, the USA All-Stars. That could have been a 2-on-1 break, intercepted by Jeff Nelson. Nelson, Tukey, Nelson, 2-on-1 down low. Turnaround shot, wide of the net. What a chance for Jean-Yves Roy. But he did not get that shot on net. Bruchot the rebound covered.
No, but they are pushing 6-3 now. The last goal scored less than a minute ago off the faceoff. Watch Bruchot, the goaltender in red, have trouble with this. When it's a little dribbler, it looked like it went off of his pad right to Tim Tukey. Wrong guy to have a go-to. He found daylight out to Martin Lapointe. It's the last chance now.
Yeah, things are happening well for the American club here. Great pass by Tukey and a slap shot here that just Brochu gets a glove on when it comes back off the rebound. I told you earlier, these pucks come straight back off the boards. A dangerous play, and the Canadian team is sleeping.
Tough when you're up 6-2 midway through the third period to try and keep it up, and right now USA All-Stars trying to gain that momentum back. Jean-Yves Roy passed it off to Nelson. Nelson moving in. Pope checked away from him. Good play again as the 3D back. Look at the handling by Craig Darby. Finally lost it. Duncanson sent it in. Bruchot batted that one. It was rolling on him. Didn't get much on it. USA All-Stars. Duncanson along the boards trying to hold it in. Pushed by him though. Darby lost it. Duncanson centered off the skate and a great chance. Roy again. Jean-Yves Roy was waiting. Trying to spin away with it. Roy cutting to the net. Back out comes Duncanson. Centered shot. Brochu the save twice and hangs on to the second rebound. Al Morganti still downstairs with Frank Mathers. Al?
Well, Garrett, if there's anybody worth interruption like that, it's Frank Mathers. And Frank, your view of the future of this league, you've been so integral in the growing of it.
Well, I think the American Hockey League is going the right way. It's strictly a development league now. We have 16 teams, and I got a feeling that very shortly we'll have 20, 22 teams. It seems that the National League are interested in putting their players in this league. I think it's good for the players. They play against the other teams' development players too. They play against the young guys. They can see how their draftees stack up against the other teams. This league it's a pretty tough league. It's tough physically on the ice, but it's also tough off. You got 3 games in 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do a lot of traveling, and I think the players learn an awful lot. They become much tougher possibly than in other leagues.
All right, thank you, and thank you for all you've done for the league, and enjoy the game.
Thank you very much.
Well, not a classier man than Frank Mathers has ever been associated with this great sport of hockey, and especially at this level in the American League. Played, coach, GM, president of the Hershey.
Brochu can't get it! And Dupree will be credited with banging it home, and suddenly a 4-goal lead is 2.
Well, if Frank Mathers keeps talking, it could be tied up before too long.
Al, keep Frank there if you're rooting for USA All-Stars.
I'm just thinking that myself. Paul Gardner is going to be yelling up at us to continue that interview with Frank Mathers. From the face-off, just as the last goal started, you can see that the U.S. player beats everybody to the puck. Man, there was nobody that even went to him. What happened on that? Somebody missed their assignment.
Face-off alignments, every team does it differently. In this case, in an all-star game, there's not enough time to get everybody on the same page. But again, walk it out front, good things will happen.
Heads-up play by Yannick Dupré. He is the only member of the Hershey Bears here in this all-star game. It's one thing to get to the corner first. It's another thing to take a quick peek and see that there's room to get out front and not stand there trying to make a pass. And he made a real smart read.
Yannick Dupré, 12 goals during the regular season. Picks one up here. And the 22-year-old has made it a 6-4 game. Petrovisky got the assist, 9-19. So USA All-Stars have scored the last 2 goals here in the third period to make it a 6-4 game. Petrovisky up on the check. He's playing an inspired third period. Petrovisky is. Walker's shot goes wide. USA All-Stars trying to gun it in. Norris cleared it out through the middle. Freed up again to Gendron. Gendron turning in. Gendron tied up as the D got back. Good defensive play by Norris. Blaine Norris, the 25-year-old, has shown he can go both ways. He's played good offense and Not been afraid to back check. He's been there. Petrovisky knocked that one away. Just bumped up in the air that time by Granville. Finnish player, 21 years old, wears 55 in red for the Canadian All-Stars. Yanni Granville. Walker sends it across ice. We've still got 9:42 left to go here in this third period. Knipscher moved it in. Centering pass is blocked. Still looking. Gage up for Knipscher. Deflected. And clears back to center. Philippe Boucher waiting for his teammates to clear. Guns that one in. Quick changes by both teams now. Knipscher was up to free the puck up. Knipscher gets it back. Tries to bump it out to Gage. Hits off the back of the net. End up in the corner, and a haul down with Sullivan. We haven't had a call yet in this game, and unless it's really flagrant, we're not going to get one. Hopp sends it in. Territorially now, the USA All-Stars dominating here. Banged around the boards by Granville. Can't get it out. Knipscher was there to hold it out. Deflected into the corner by Granville. Again tries to get it up along the boards and can't. Again, it was Knipscher there. Granville doing battle. Poke checked around by Sullivan. No shot in all of this, though, for the USA All-Stars. Back the other way, Bure. Valerie Bure, the 20-year-old end, and couldn't get the shot off. Got hauled down and slid into the boards as he went the length of the ice on that chance. Bumped away to Sullivan. Sullivan will turn it in. Sullivan wound up, takes the shot, deflected into the middle, covered there by Darby. Darby pushed it off wide side. Tukey charging for it. They're revitalized. Sullivan's got it. Sullivan to the point, but Tukey had moved in. Nobody was there. Played up by Bure. Canadian All-Stars waiting for help. Bure sends it wide side all alone. Shot and the save made. Skating it alone, Corey Stillman. Back the other way, McKim on the break, not quite. Joel Bouchard poked that away from McKim, who had gotten the step behind him. Bouchard had the longer reach.
That's a big save by Schwab. When a team is fighting to get back into the action here, as the American team is, they need a save like Schwab just gave them, because eventually they're going to have some 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s going against them.
Set down deep, Corey Schwab there to play it. Property of the New Jersey Devils, 24 years old, having an outstanding season. Puck is loose along the boards. Brought in by Picard. Shot and save made again by Schwab. So there's time as the Canadian All-Star 4-goal lead has been cut to 2 here in the third period.
Well, he's a right-hand shot, and his brother is a left-hand shot. Pavel is in Vancouver, and Valerie Bure is here, but he can go coast to coast and end to end, just like Pavel. Look at this one. It took a terrific save by Corey Schwab to keep this one out of the net. Not only end to end, but look at this setup. This is a terrific pass. What zip on the pass. Boom. Tape to tape for another scoring chance by the Canadian team. Paul Gardner is down there behind the USA bench. Paul, did you feel the wind as Bure went by you there?
Yes, I did. I wonder what it would be like to go that fast. Skating wasn't my forte, and I just like to go one time around the ice like that and see what it feels like.
Hey, are you having any more fun now that you're back in this game?
Yeah, we really are. Barry, who's a master at drawing plays up, he drew a few up and they worked for us tonight, and hopefully we get a couple more face-offs in their end and get a couple more goals.
And they're cheering each other on that bench right now for the USA All-Stars, down by 2, and here at the Providence Civic Center. They are back into this game as well, and plenty of time left. 7:30 remaining to go here in the third period. Through center with it, Craig Duncanson. Duncanson dumped it deep. Rochelle goes back to get it. And the attempt to send it out of the zone. The D ends up over the glass off David Wilkie's stick.
That's good news for the home team here, because there's another face-off in the offensive zone. 3 goals off the draws for the American club. Shots this period clearly 2-1 for the American club, and Jeff Nelson is a guy who's been pretty quiet here for the last little while. Barry Trotz gives him a piece of advice. Maybe they got a play designed here. Nelson's the guy that they need to hear from.
Now Barry Trotz standing beside the USA bench and behind Paul Gardner. And Gary, we've gotten to know him this season. He is such a quiet guy. I think sometimes I even tend to underestimate his intensity. I mean, this is an all-star game. He's standing up on the bench, grabbing one of his own Portland players by the jersey and barking instructions to him. He wants this.
Didn't come here to lose.
No.
Didn't come here to just play. Comes back to the point. Near side Nordstrom looking in. Waugh behind the net. Waugh tried to center. Big hit put on by LaRoche. Freed up to Duncanson. Turnaround. Duncanson shot. That was close. Deflected wide with a lot of bodies in front. Picard trying to clear the zone. Can't. Duncanson holds it in. Hurlburt comes over to get it. Near side. Can't get it out. Nordstrom sent it in wide. Waugh going back for it. Waugh collided with Hurlburt. At the point. Shot taken Mitchell. Deflected in the slot. They tic-tac Duncanson. Waugh had it blocked. Duncanson save and deflected wide. Duncanson found the rebound. Centering pass intercepted and Stillman clears. Chase at the other end. Picard, the dangerous scorer. One-hander save. Sets in front. Pulled back in by Corey Schwab, who had looked behind him. And they keep it going. No whistle. Great finish for you with 6:19 to go. On the near side, Canadian All-Stars, bonvie centered, Schwab deflected it off the blocker. Corey Schwab's having a big period. He's looked behind him twice now on shots, but both times he had made the save. And a whistle here on a delayed offside, two-line pass. No, penalty. First penalty of the game being called by Blair Angus, our referee.
Well, Lance Pitlick from Canada is the man that's closest to him. They're having a little chuckle about it. Is it Pitlick or is it not Pitlick?
It's somebody.
Yep. Well, our guy Jason Bonvie, who's been moved up to the wing position, almost set up another one.
Here we come with another one. Schwab has been immense. Good cut here. That's a great cut into the net by Picard. And with one hand gets a good chance. Schwab can't find it. Finally got a handle on it. And the action kept rolling right along.
A power play for the USA All-Stars as Norris has picked up a penalty. Too many men on the ice. He will serve it. The first penalty in this game.
No wonder they've had so many shots. They've had 6 guys on the ice for this period.
Well, here's the great chance. With 6:04 left to go for the USA All-Stars to make this a one-goal game.
Did anybody see the six skaters out there?
Yes, Blair Angus. Face-off will come at center. Eisenhut moves in to take the face-off. Petrovitsky won the draw. And the power play underway for the USA All-Stars. Knocked down, sent out of the zone. Good defensive play that time by Joel Bouchard. He's played a strong game. Number 42 for the Canadian All-Stars in red. Walker on the far side. Petrovitsky picks it up. Petrovitsky trying to get this power play set up. Dean dropped it down low. The shot and the save made. These are all going to be big saves right here in these chances. Dupré had the last one. Dupré has picked up one of the goals here in this third period. Back up for Dean. Dean and Walker are playing the points. They set Gendron out in front of the net. Petrovitsky is down on the offside post. There's Petrovitsky. That rolled in on net, knocked away Bruchou. Eisenhut couldn't get it. Petrovitsky does. Petrovitsky coming around. Dropped it in front. Shot. Great save on Gendron by Bruchou. Bruchou did not know where that puck was. It came out in front so quickly. All he could do was pick up the player shooting, and he did.
All right, what do we got here? Martin Bruchou, he doesn't look like he's fazed by anything, but there's all sorts of activity. Again, Petrovitsky with a nice move here. Again, walk it out front. Just missed on the bing-bang play. Bruchou gets a break because they couldn't get the shot off.
No, it was bouncing. I mean, it had to be elevated to get it out front, but it just jumped over Gendron's stick in front. Yeah, Bruchou does look cold. Cool.
Cold is right.
Well,
cold
yeah,
is right.
He's so cool, he's cold. He's actually the number 3 guy on the Montreal Canadiens depth chart. Obviously, Patrick Waugh, number 1. They acquired Ronnie Tugnut from Anaheim last year, but they got rid of Frederic Chabot and Andre Racicot over the offseason, and all of a sudden, Martin Bruchou at 21 is number 3 in their organization.
Darby knocked it away to center. Corey Stillman rags it a little. 50 seconds left on the USA All-Star power play. 4:50 left to go in the third period. Here in Providence, fans back into this one. A 6-4 game with the Canadian All-Stars on top. They break it up, don't allow them in. Sent the length of the ice by Granville. USA All-Stars, 33 left on the power play. Get one here and make it a 1-goal game. Pops sends it all the way around the boards. Knipscher over there. Knipscher struggle to control it. Granville trying to clear, but it ends up in the seats, and this face-off will stay inside in the Canadian end.
Well, they haven't quit yet. Barry Trotz has plenty to say. Bill, you hit it right on the head. He's giving advice not just to his Portland guys. Andrew McKim here is getting an earful. He's got laser beams for eyes, doesn't he?
He sure does. And notice how much more animated he is now than he has pretty well been the entire game. He's most of the time stood there with his arms folded, and now he is an active coach.
Active and rolling.
Get out of here,
Coach of the year last season as he led those Pirates in Portland to the Calder Cup championship. Barry Trotz, just his second season. The Pirates coming back after having been out of the league for a couple of years. Came back last year and won it.
So community-minded in Portland, Barry Trotz has put together a number of programs, including a program that had the Portland players adopting needy families at Christmas time and traveling to their homes, making sure that they had Christmas dinners, Christmas trees, and gifts for the kids. Terrific organization led by Barry Trotz.
What you get to do at the minor league level, it's a lot easier to get it done than when you're playing the big show. Deflected in front on Tukey, and a cover-up save, Bruchot. Well, on this power play, they got about everybody at the top of the crease.
Watch the action in front. And watch, in particular, Lapointe. Right in the crease. Bang, smack, whack. He's not going anywhere. He doesn't get the shot. It's Tukey that gets a little bit on it. But that's good action by Lapointe.
Roy, move up! Roy!
Directing traffic. Tukey on the ice.
Go to the net, Andy! Go to the net after the draw!
Here the instructions being hauled out. They want everybody in front looking for rebounds here. 10 seconds left on the power play.
Oh, you hear that? They wanted McKim to go to the net. He won the draw and he went to the boards. I don't think he heard them.
There's McKim. Power play is over. Didn't score on it. Lapointe again bats it up in the air on the rebound. Even strength now with the penalty over. Still control with the USA All-Stars. Tukey trying to bat it out in front. Got it there. But it couldn't be rammed home, and it's sent out the length of the ice. Mitchell comes back to get it. So it remains a 6-4 Canadian All-Star lead. 3:45 left to go. 0 for 1 of the power play for the USA All-Stars. The only power play we have had in this game. Out on the ice, Nordstrom. Now obviously Canadian All-Stars want to avoid giving up the odd man rush here and get it up the other way. They wave off any icing on this. Corey Schwab got to come out to play this. A 4-goal lead coming into this third period has been cut to 2. Team USA now has the clock running against them as well, and you see the Canadian All-Stars take it a little deeper in their own end. David Wilkie. Wilkie challenged by Tukey, sent it around to Hurlbert. Hurlbert tried to get it out of the zone, didn't. Comes right back to Wilkie. USA stepping up. Dean tried to hold it in, couldn't. They've got to go back, set up in their own end now, as Jean-Yves Waugh drops it back for Dean. Dean sends it back in the middle, a 3-on-3. Waugh down, Waugh in front, tipped, wide of the net. Centering pass intended for Waugh from Walker. Waugh winds up and takes it, shot wide. Duncanson poke checked away from him. Only 1D back along the line now with everybody moving in. They're getting chances just behind the man Walker in front of the net. Walker intercepts. Impressive game played by Scott Walker. He has been all over the place both ways. Gets hit hard, but got it into the corner. Check put on by Hurlbert. The puck freed up behind the net. Gendron goes to the front. Shot. Duncanson turned around. Couldn't get it off. Gets it back. Duncanson doing battle here after he'd got knocked down on the ice. Dean the shot. Deflected. Save. Brochu. Rebound. Brochu the save. Rebound in. It does not go in. 3 chances for the USA All-Stars. Still 2:06 left. Paulin Bordeleau looking up at the clock. Time remaining with his team on top by 2.
Know who you got now.
We should find out from Paul Gardner at what point he figures they may pull their goaltender, Corey Schwab. Paul, can you still hear us? I mean, are you guys talking yet about pulling Corey Schwab?
Yeah, well, yes we are, Bill. About 1.5. We're going to look if we get some possession and he's going to come.
1.5.
Thank you.
So we'll keep an eye on the clock. Face-off, Petrovisky moves in to take a big draw. 2:06 left to go. Eisenhunt on the face-off, won it for the Canadian All-Stars. Cleared around by Pitlick. It rolls over center ice. USA All-Stars back to get it. Nordstrom back on D. They'll rush everybody to the net here to try to create that scoring chance to get this to a one-goal game. They would love to do that without having to pull the goaltender. Petroviski dropped it. Sent in, you get those big rebounds Mike's talked about. Petroviski got it. Petroviski moving in. Still has it. Wraparound chance. Brochu, the battle. And it's whistled as it's tied up in the snow against that far side post.
Nothing there. Nothing there. Brochu had sealed it off. Brochu has made 14 saves in this period. Petroviski with a terrific burst here. Good play by the first USA player. He let the puck go knowing that Petroviski was behind him. See how he kept it alive with his skate. He almost lost it. Brochu has been terrific, though. I mean, there was no room. None.
Great move by Petroviski. This kid looks like I talked to Bruce Landon, who's the general manager down in Springfield. He thinks he's going to make it. And it's a bubble year for him. It's either this year or never.
And the net is empty. So with 1:37 left, they have pulled Corey Schwab, the USA All-Stars net empty. They will get the extra skater out with a face-off coming to the left of Brochu. Why hasn't Petroviski made it to this point, Mike?
I believe it's because he doesn't always, quote-unquote, compete hard enough. He doesn't get to the corners. He doesn't show up every night. He's got Eastern European disease.
All right, that's a straight answer as you're going to get. All right, let's see what happens with the empty net. USA All-Stars trying to come back here with the extra skater out there up to the point. Good play by Nordstrom to hold it in. It is onside, deflected in front. Shot deflected as Waugh wound up to take it. Jean-Yves Waugh has had so many chances. Petroviski could not hold that one in on the boards. That'll be way wide of the net at the other end on the chase down. Philippe Boucher on the touch-up for the icing call and back the other way for the draw. Barry Trotz pulling his goaltender with 1:37 left. And now Bordeleau hoping his team can get that empty netter.
Yeah, they can take a shot at it.
We're going to put a winger. We're just going to put one guy on the boards, one winger on the board. 2D in front.
Lose the draw. Get to the wall.
This is where these guys earn their pay.
Ready.
Well, they're going to take this right down to the darn wire. There's 1:14 to go. The USA team, coached by Barry Trotz and Paul Gardner, are behind by 2. They ain't going to let go. They ain't going to let go until the final buzzer.
It's not over. They win the draw back to the point. Shot in by Mitchell. Brochu the save. Rebound. Brochu reaching, and he hangs on. 2 chances. LaPointe going after the rebound after the point shot by Roy Mitchell.
On the other side here now. Okay, Marty, put Marty on the wall for the one
Look
time.
At, as soon as the save is made, the whistle goes. They're mapping out their next plan of attack, and I think the faceoff's going to come from the same side here.
Get the second.
If the faceoff changes sides, it will change their strategy to a degree. The center will generally be the same if you've got a guy that's better than anybody else. Here's the shot. That's a heck of a save by Brochu. He couldn't have seen much of that.
And on the rebound, he's right there.
Oh, it's over here now.
Oh, it is changing. See, they've now recognized that the faceoff is going to the other side as well, so that changes some of the personnel assignments.
The faceoff is the only time in hockey when a coach has control. It's the only time you line it up. You guys, you go here, and if we win it, this is what will happen. It's the only time in a game that never stops.
Yep. It is the line of scrimmage of hockey.
The youngest player out there on the ice, Steve Sullivan, in white, will be taking this important face-off. Team USA has won the last 2 draws. Big ones. Dean in front. Shot blocked. Rebound. Deflected off the leg. Good chance down low by Gage. A minute left to go. Gage is set up in front. Centered. Sullivan. Gage. Shot deflected back to the point. Dean picks it up. Empty net at the other end. Knocked down in front. Shot save. Brochu. Rebound. Brochu on Knipscher.
Knipscher with a little leap. He thought he had it.
Good try,
Brochu, what do you think? MVP?
Still time. Come on, boys.
Well, the last 5 minutes, I'll tell you what, he has been incredible. I'm going to try and get a total here on how many saves he has made. A couple of minutes ago, he was up to 14 1/3. He has been terrific. We're talking the tough stuff. In close, through legs, people jamming at it. That was a fair catch that was brought down. Look at the white jerseys in front, and they did get 2 shots on him.
Timeout will be taken by the Canadian All-Stars with 48.2 seconds left.
Maybe we can listen in.
We're 2 goals up. So win that draw, see the game's over. Okay, so let's go.
starts and take a step back off the dot so he can't tie in.
If first things first, you don't win the draw, you've got a problem. You have to win the defensive draw.
Well, actually, Bill, I'm not sure I agree with that. I think you just don't want to lose the draw here. All you have to do is tie the guy's stick up. Wouldn't you agree?
You don't. As a defensive center and as a guy that took a lot of them, the #1 goal I always had was don't lose it, especially don't lose it cleanly. You're right.
Barry Trotz
Did you see Richie?
setting this up as he has used Steve Sullivan, the 20-year-old, to take the last two faceoffs, and Sullivan won them both.
Martin Brochu, 17 saves this period, Gary.
Wow.
This kid Sullivan's a good player. He's sort of the Doug Gilmour type of the American Hockey League. Youngest all-star here, as we've mentioned, and he plays like a Gilmour. He's gutty, he's heady, he's really sort of taken over a leadership role for his club.
Reminds me even more of Theo Fleury. He's just a little bigger. He wears number 14, and he's just a water bug out there all over the place. And he plays, yeah, a lot like Doug Gilmour as well. Same type. Here he is on the draw.
Steve Sullivan on the faceoff against Corey Stillman. Stillman able to tie that draw and went into the corner. Bonvie. Sullivan digging in. Knipschier set it behind the net. Down to 36 left to go in this third period as the battle goes on with the extra skater out there for the USA All-Stars who are down by 2. Knipschier save! Went right through everybody, and Brochu makes the glove save.
I could almost... I want to see the replay on this, but it looked like he didn't see it coming and was simply so perfectly set with his glove open that had this shot go into it.
And watch the reaction by Lapointe after this save is made. Cannot believe it. Look into the heavens.
Yep, save 18.
Give these guys credit. They're right to the wire. You're right, Billy, right to the wire.
Sullivan and Corey Stillman again on the face-off battle. One back, Lapointe shot. Another glove save. Picked it from behind his left ear.
Seen some interesting things happen off the face-offs tonight. Very interesting things. And you've got to take a look at the coaches. You've seen them work the bench. You've seen them work the players. You've seen them give some advice. And this is what happens. Only Brochu stands between the Canadians and an American tie.
But he looked questionable. I mean, they got 2 on him. They came out and got a couple little squivers on him, and all of a sudden he looked like he might be a little shaky. Well, forget about that.
Well, he warmed up at 7 o'clock. By the time he got out of here, it was 10.
Good point. Shear goes back to the point. 19 left to go in this game. Knipschier, Lapointe in front, knocked down, and there's the big clear. Canadian All-Stars need it. They're racing to try and stop it on the icing. Philippe Boucher back to get it. We have some winners of MVP awards that have been announced in this game. The MasterCard MVP, wouldn't you know it, Ralph Intranuvo, who wasn't even supposed to be here, who has had a couple of points in this game with a goal and an assist. The CCM US team, Martin Lapointe, MVP. CCM Canadian MVP, Dwayne Norris. And the new face clothing rookie MVP, the goaltender, Dwayne Rollison.
So we have 4 MVPs.
That's right.
Do I get to choose one? Why not? If you have 4, you might as well have a 5th.
No, you can do it because these votes were obviously cast 3 or 4 minutes ago.
That's
before
right.
Brochu made about 9 of his saves. So why don't we have the Mike Milbury MVP award?
Well, you just named it. Martin Brochu.
He has been huge in this one.
What does he get for that?
Mike Milbury's handshake. In the corner. They don't want to whistle it. They do, but it's too late. It's over. A tremendous AHL All-Star game. Canadian All-Stars 6 and the USA All-Stars 4.
Thank you, guys. That's going to be the first thing I'll say to these athletes when I get downstairs. I think they put on a heck of a show. They tried. There was an intensity level, I think, that was more than adequate for an all-star game, and they should be proud of the effort that they gave us and their fans here.
With the exception of a little bit of a down period at the end of the second period, I thought this was a pretty darn well-played game for a group of guys that just got together. These guys really came out to play. They had some body. They had a few occasions where things were chippy, and I liked it. They got their money's worth for $10 a ticket.
And our thanks to Dave Andrews, Mike Hume from the league, for Elmore Gandy, Bill Clement, Mike Milbury, and all of our crew. I'm Gary Thorne. Sports Smash is next. Your final 6-4 Canada.